Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 372 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and I'm joined this week by two lovely people. The American legend himself. No, the other person isn't standing behind you, Moody.
Said lovely people.
I did.
I know one's here, but where's the other one?
Down by your feet somewhere. It's Dafford Moody.
I'm back. I'm alive.
Some would
Did
say.
you miss me, people? It's Friday. You know what that means? It's video game
Something.
day. It's that thing.
Something.
It's something there. It is something. How is everyone? I hope everyone is well.
I'm good. I mean, woo. And I'm also joined.
A little too fast there, maybe. Come on.
A little bit too fast there.
Shall you come on.
By the boy racer.
I know you've been gone for a week, but Jesus, you haven't lost it all.
I take it back. You do never stop talking. And the boy racer himself, it's Mr. Vitz Patel.
Back at it like a bad habit. How we going, everybody?
Why is everyone so negative about themselves today? This will not stand. It's Friday. You know what that means. It means we're all going to be nice to ourselves.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Soft five.
There you go.
Brilliant stuff.
Okay, I'll ask the question again. How is everybody?
Wonderful.
Pretty good. Can't complain.
No, wait, maybe that wasn't good
Blood-
enough. We're gonna,
blood
we're gonna
taken.
run that back.
Today.
Oh,
What have you done to your arm?
I am a blood taken.
Oh,
you see a vampire today?
Yeah, sort of.
Did you watch Castlevania and you went, there's a sexy woman on that, and I'm just like,
Yep. You playing?
Amy would want that.
Well, wait, and then what did I do? I'm curious to know what happened next
You
in
went
this
and
in this
found her.
version of the
You
story.
clearly went and found her.
I went to Cartoon Land. I painted a thing on the wall, and I just ran through it.
Not at my feet, that's good.
Oh, I just want to get my blood taken every 3
Oh,
months.
that's good. No,
You take enough pills, they make you give blood every 3 months.
Fair.
There you go.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like too much fun, to be honest.
Well, you sit there and then they put the needle in, and then it's like it doesn't go in and out. It's not like an injection. It sits there for a while, and you can feel it.
Wiggling about.
No, the needle's not wiggling about.
No.
I think if the needle was wiggling about, I wouldn't be here.
What did you do?
The blood's in there somewhere.
my response to your text saying you were coming tonight really would have been cool. Can you also record it and send it to me? I'll publish it when I'm out of hospital. And then just a picture of like a bloody room.
One time, go. Good girl. There you
Do I need? Should I start introducing Adora? It's like the fourth
Well, if I
podcast.
pick her up, she's gonna start fighting straight away, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not in the mood to start fighting with her and getting clawed and scratched. So no,
That's a shame.
it's gonna be interesting. She's going in for her first trimming next week. So because she's like grown really big, really fast over the last couple of weeks, and it's just and her hair's just like. She's just puffy right now, and so my partner's just like, she looks fat. She ain't fat. She's just very puffy because of her fur, but she looks fat. I was like, okay, fine. What do you want to do? We'll put her in for a grooming. Okay, but okay, are you sure she's going to be able to handle this? Because she doesn't handle a lot of good things at all. She doesn't handle walking. She doesn't handle going for walks. She does not like it. So it's like. Well, we'll see what happens. I said, all right, well, she fights us when we've had to shower her before. Yeah, well, it's their problem, not ours. I was like, oh, interesting.
I was going to say, you're not doing the grooming.
No, I know that. But
So-
They just have to pay the surcharge afterwards.
Yeah, my thing, basically, it's just a severance charge of just
That's it.
of all the claws marks afterwards. I'm just like, I want to have money at the end of this, right? We're not going to be bankrupt because of her by the end of this. My partner didn't answer that. I went, okay.
No comment.
No comment, yeah, something like that. But no. Yeah, she's grown. She's a devil, but she's the princess at the same time. She's a diva, like full-on diva.
Oh,
Like, she knows what she wants, she knows what she likes, she knows what she doesn't like, and she's like, if you try and do something she doesn't like, oh my god, she's gonna make you know about it.
Fair enough.
good behavior.
Fair enough, indeed. Fair enough, indeed.
I don't want people doing I think that's fair. I don't do anything I don't want to do. Fuck that.
Yeah, but she needs to go out, potty outside, not inside
Why?
all the time.
There's this great big area inside where she can do it
Isn't even
without
a
having
bigger area
to
outside.
without having to go outside.
That's it. Her humans are going to pick up after her regardless of where she goes.
Inside, outside, that bag's still coming out. What's the difference?
I'm not talking to you two about my dog. You ain't going to be helping me, are you?
When have I ever been helpful?
Yeah, that one's on you, my friend.
Yeah.
True.
How's Vitz?
I take it
Yeah,
back.
we're
I'm going now.
doing
Bye.
good.
See ya.
Yeah, it's been a busy old week with Forza coming out, so we've got a little rig over here, which has been put to good use. So yeah, it's just been a lot of that, and for some reason, against our better judgment, we saw the Gran Turismo movie finally. So yeah, we have some thoughts.
Yeah, I need to add that later. I didn't add that in.
It's
I've
all
added
good.
two
Don't worry
things
about
just
it.
in case you didn't see them.
I mean, at a certain point, Mooney, I stopped looking. When you say I've added
No,
the video.
thanks again for inviting us back and having us on.
It's you're always welcome.
Very kind of you.
We haven't scared you off. The last one we had, we scared them off. So
The last few we
we're
had.
still looking for foxes. We don't know if he's. Yeah, we don't know. Could have gone to hibernation and he just hasn't gone back yet. We don't know. And Joe is Joe.
Joe's in America right now.
Joe's in
He is.
America. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his post about eating
partying.
barbecue.
Yeah,
Like
Blood
real
Disco
barbecue.
living his best life.
Hell yeah. Wish we were all living our best life.
That's it. Speaking of living your best life, Moody, things which have happened in the previous week. So, as you may have caught last week, so Amy and I had a little bit of a cheeky chat about all
Well, like
things.
Amy asked you something, and yeah,
Amy
Yes.
and Trapped Vitz.
yeah, trapped you, bitch. Yeah, it's the best way to say it. Yeah.
And yeah, now we're going to put together a little D&D game for you good selves and anybody else who'd like to be involved. So, just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I'm excited for that. Like I've been wanting to do this, like Amy said, since playing Life is Strange: True Colors and everything, and then obviously
Game's
then
2
we
years
played.
old. That game's 2 years old.
Yeah. And then we did another D&D thing on Goodbye Volcano High, which I really enjoyed as well. And like my boss who I work with, he's a big D&D guy, and now we've just got a new team leader who's a big D&D guy, and I'm just like, it's like you rubbing it in my fucking face.
Now, I'm going to ask a question. This doesn't preclude us playing D&D together, but could you play with them?
No, they like to do in the tabletop thingy where I have to go and be social with them.
Yeah.
And I can only be social with them at work. That's my lot of time. That's where I get paid.
What if you
They don't
suggest?
pay me outside of work hours.
What if you
to be
suggest,
social with
like,
them.
as a well-being initiative at your place of work, like D&D Fridays, like once a month, in the afternoon on a Friday, you play D&D.
We're working on the afternoon on Friday.
Yeah, but you don't have to. Well-being, really. It's all about well-being, mental health.
Okay. Well, we're very busy at the same time, so no. No, I never asked them, but at the same time, like, I prefer right now to get myself into it. Boys doing it how we're going to do it, like obviously online and everything, like through chats and whatnot. Would probably be the better way for me, just to ease me into it. And yeah,
Fair enough.
Nice.
Well, yeah, so I have several ideas percolating. I'll be working on a few bits and pieces this week in terms of what we can do. And as I was saying to Amy on the Discord server kind of thing, we've got an outline together, so a framework of how the kind of adventure will play out. So all we need now is some characters to go with.
yeah, I've seen that stuff. I just haven't looked at it yet. Sorry, I have not
There's a-
replied.
Oh,
no,
in
no,
there or
it's
anything,
all good.
Oh, I thought you were going to go down the route of there's a difference between reading an understanding.
There's that as well. There's that as well, no doubt about it.
I read all of the words.
Yeah.
There you go. Some of them made sense. Some of them I've heard before. But
Cool.
no, it's all good. I'm very excited to put this together.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you
just
very
wait.
much, Vitz.
Just wait until you have to DM me. They'll change.
Yeah, just let us know and we'll go sort out a day for it and whatnot. And yeah.
All good. Amy, how's your week been?
It's been good. You know, it's been fine. Started playing Final Fantasy X, as you do.
Yeah.
I'm curious, just a little bit interested.
Sure.
How are you finding it so far?
So about 12, according to my PlayStation 5 clock, I'm like 12 hours into it. It's good. I love the battle system. Final Fantasy X has made me retroactively angry at every RPG that has come out since it, that you can't just swap your party members around in combat whenever you want.
Yeah,
Why didn't that become a thing?
Really kinda, yeah.
That should be a thing.
Yeah,
That would be too much fun.
Yeah, Sea of Stars, which was really good. Really well.
Yeah, like I think about when you remember when we were talking about Octopath Traveler 2, like earlier this year, and I was bemoaning the fact that I had to keep grinding the characters that weren't in my party to get the levels up and stuff, and it's just like Final Fantasy X solved this problem 20 years ago. What the fuck, guys? Come on.
Yeah, well, you still have to grind a little bit because you have to if to get them points, you have to get them at least into the match and let them hit something or do a spell or something. But yeah,
You have to
they
get
really
the
did solve
orbs.
it really well.
The spheres for the probably far too convoluted skill leveling up system.
And then they ruined it in 12, I think, and then 13. I don't talk about.
I've never played those ones. This is part of my adventure through games that I've not played before.
It's one of your blind spots. So 12 was my first Final Fantasy, so it always holds a special place in my heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then 13, I enjoyed in spite of itself. So, yeah. So obviously, like coming from 12 and that being my first experience outside of like trying to dabble in 7 and whatnot, it was kind of okay. 13 taken in a different direction. It's very linear. We can just get through it. The characters, some of them are more fun than others, and yeah, an adventure was had. we'll put it that way.
That's fair.
The funny thing for 12 for me was that by the end of when I finished it, I was just like, the main character shouldn't have been the main character.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then, but obviously I wasn't like really on the internet that by then and whatnot. So until I saw all online, everyone was just like, well, no, Vaughn should not have been the main character. And I was like, wait, everyone agrees with me? What the hell? And yeah, and it's just like, okay, that's interesting, but not yet. Yeah. There's some fun parts in it, but I don't really remember it as that great for it. So
I know nothing about 12. The only thing I remember about Final Fantasy 13 is there's a chocobo that lives in a guy's little hair. It's a little chocobo.
It's big hair. He's got a big old afro, and it's in there. Yeah.
And I think it was even on this podcast when Lightning Return. I don't know when Lightning Returns came out, but I remember that was the third Final Fantasy 13. Where they had Lightning's character models on the box art of all 3 games, and in the third one, to try and sell more copies of the game, like they made it boobs bigger, and it was very funny.
When in doubt, make them bigger, I guess.
Exactly. That's been my philosophy.
Was this before or after Lightning became a model for Vogue?
I was probably tied into the two things were probably tied together. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that
correlation there.
But yeah, no, I'm enjoying 10. It's got a story that I feel like is good, but told very strangely, like in a very strange way. Which don't ask me to explain that right now.
A lot of blitzball.
I've played one match of blitzball and just left it alone. Like,
I loved blitzball when I was a kid.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just the fundamentals are exactly the same as ice hockey, so I understood the game almost immediately.
I've seen the Mighty Ducks. I know. I
remember that.
Go Canucks. No, I've talked to a couple of people about it, and they all say like, "Oh yeah," like, and they talk about blitzball, and like, "Oh man, that one mandatory match at the beginning that you're supposed to lose," and I was like, "You're not supposed to lose it. I mean, I won. Wasn't that hard?"
It's really it doesn't make a difference which one really. You can lose it or you can win it.
Yeah. I was determined to win it though. But yeah,
I think if you win it, you get more money. I think
you get one of those special spheres that you put in an empty sphere slot, and it gives you extra stats.
Amy, question for you: after you enjoy your thoroughly good time with Final Fantasy X, do you think 10-2 might be in your future?
No, and Moody knows this about me. It's like if I try to roll from 10 to 10-2, I lose interest in 10-2, whether it's a great game or not. Like it would be like trying to go from Final Fantasy X to like another Final Fantasy. It's like I got to switch.
You need to mix it up. Okay.
I got to switch gears, like, and then come back to my haphazard journey through Final Fantasy. Like after I played, I don't know, whatever else I'm going to end up playing. Yakuza's on the. I've installed a bunch of games. I was basically taking my own advice from what we were talking about last week. When we were talking about the Capcom guy, he said that games need to be more expensive, and I think I made the point that, well, all right, I mean, put the games up. I've got plenty of games that I own that I've never played.
There you go.
And I think I took my own advice on that one. I just looking through all the games, like the new release games and stuff, like the games for reviewing or podcasts and stuff, and I just wasn't feeling it. And then I was scrolling through my PlayStation library, and I just saw Final Fantasy. I saw Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, well, no. I've played that like 20 times. But Final Fantasy X, though. Why 10 specifically? Don't know.
Well, I mean, in the pantheon of Final Fantasy, 10 is probably the other seminal one, aside from the ones that came out like SNES and things like that as well, like 6 or 3 in America, that kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, of the more modern ones, I want to say, even though it's 20 years since 10 came out at this point, kind of thing. 10 is one of the more seminal ones.
It's got more grave.
I would have probably played Final Fantasy VI, but I don't own it, so I went with 10 because you talked about loving it. My friend, an amazing streamer who also has a Patreon, you should go and check out Luna Mothwings. She's told me about how much she loves it. Sadie, who's been on the podcast before, talks about how much she loved it. My friend Ness, who's an amazing artist, she loved it. And so I think I've just been absorbing this love for Final Fantasy X over the years. And then I just went, oh, yeah, I'll give it a go. But that comes with its own risks, because if I don't like it, I've got a problem.
You'll never have a problem with me if you don't like something.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, quick aside, don't be alarmed that the new logo for Patreon looks like Pure Gym. It's still Patreon.
It looks like a vibrator. It looks like a vibrator. I saw it and I didn't know I was looking at the new Patreon logo because I saw it before I saw the context, and I was just like, huh? Like I was confused as to how it hadn't tripped the content filters on Blue Sky. You know, like the adult content ones, which I have tripped myself 3 times in a row now. How that made it through. And then I was like, oh, it's a logo. Oh, no. But yeah, no.
What's the new logo? I'm confused.
It looks like a jelly bean.
Yeah, Patreon's had a bit of a rebrand. So they moved away from the whole orange thing.
It's shaped like a jelly bean, but because it's colored in completely black, it's definitely something I've seen on a sex toy website before.
Is it owned by Elon Musk? Because that's what the colors he's changed to Twitter, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Elon Musk doesn't own Patreon.
Yeah. He does not.
Some rich asshole owns it. I'm sure he's just as much of an idiot.
But has the better sense to be quiet, at least.
Yeah, at least he doesn't tweet. Cool.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Dead air. Everybody loves a bit of dead air.
I love a bit of dead air. Sometimes you just gotta let the podcast breathe, like a bottle of wine. Sometimes you just gotta let Moody breathe.
We've all breathed. Mm-hmm.
So, should we get into the actual podcast?
Sure.
Why not?
Cool. So, Vitz, you I think this was your idea originally.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah, so it was an open question, and it was just one of the random things that I have, as many of the random thoughts swimming around in this old dome of mine. Is 2023 the horniest year in video games?
So far.
Now, yeah, so far. Yeah, because at the time of recording, we're still in October, and there's a few more months where I'm sure it'll get even spicier somehow. But this year seems to be more than ever, and it might just be that people are more open and expressive, or just that obviously social media is even more prevalent than it was a couple of years ago, and so on and so forth. People are more open about talking about things, but people be thirsty, and they've been extra thirsty this year, I'd say more than any other year. So I just thought it was an interesting discussion.
The only time I can think of them being more thirstier than this year is Resident Evil Village.
Yeah,
and
that was only a couple of years ago.
That's just me, though.
Yeah, it wasn't just Amy. It won't lie. It wasn't just
I
Amy.
don't know. People will go. People were big fans of their daughters as well. The three daughters that they had as well.
Yeah, but they weren't prevalent to the marketing of this game.
Like, right.
Capcom exactly knew what they
Well,
were
no.
doing. And they went, Amy Kate Alexander would like this character.
And I appreciate that they finally made a Resident Evil game for me, the biggest fan of the series.
There you go.
And I can call myself that because I've played Umbrella Corps. It's a title you earn when you finish that game. But yeah, no, it's an interesting question. And a lot of fun, and I'm glad we brought it around this week, considering what the second half of the podcast looks like. But it's I don't know. Like, part of it is I just think like we're more open and expressive.
Yeah.
Are we, or is it just that we've? And I'm speaking for myself here, and not necessarily for you two or anybody else. But like, is it just that I've started following more people who are more open about that kind of thing? And then I've just come into contact with thirstier and thirstier video game opinions as time has gone on.
It could be.
And then I'm rebroadcasting them to you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we've had a lot more characters which have been kind of like lightning rods this year, more than in recent memory. And obviously we'll be remiss if we don't speak about characters like Bowsette that popped up a couple of years ago.
I was going to bring up Bowsette.
Yeah.
2018 will give 2023 a run for its money purely because of Bowsette.
So we were speaking earlier the weekend. We were saying how it was a movement in itself.
It was.
Kind of thing.
It was a good movement. I enjoyed it a lot.
But if we take just a cursory glance at this year and what we've had so far, so in no particular order. So we had Tears of the Kingdom come out, and everybody lost their mind over Pura. Then quite recently we've had Baldur's Gate 3 come out, and everybody lost their minds over everything. So we're talking Karlach, we're talking Asterion, we're talking Shadowheart, and everybody else kind of thing. At the start of the year, we had The Witcher 3 come out, the complete edition. So everybody lost their minds again about Geralt and Yennefer and everybody else in the game. And we had a remake of Resident Evil 4, and everybody lose their mind over everybody's favorite Backstreet Boy, Leon S. Kennedy, and the dreamboat that he is. Street Fighter 6 came out. Yes, exactly. Street Fighter 6 came out, and everybody was losing their minds over Cammy and some of the other characters in that game too. Diablo 4 came out, and everybody wanted to be stomped on by the protagonist of that game as well. We had a DLC come out for Horizon, Burning Shores, and Aloy is someone who attracted a lot of attention, especially with their relationship with Seika in the DLC as well. We had another Bayonetta come out, and Bayonetta has always been one of these. This is another character that we've had. Yeah, Bayonetta Origins came out. Overwatch launched their season 4, apparently, according to my little bit of research I did. And Overwatch is obviously one of these titles which has a lot of fandom for all of the horny reasons. We had Final Fantasy 16, where we're talking about Clive, we're talking about Jill, we're talking about Dion, we're talking about Benedicta, we're talking about Annabella. Everybody in that game is smoking.
Sid.
And Sid, of course. All right. Yeah, but everybody was smoking hot in that game, and everybody lost their minds.
Final Fantasy 16 was like the Star Trek Strange New Worlds of video games.
Yes. Where everyone is beautiful.
Yeah. It's a pansexual paradise.
There you go. Mortal Kombat 1 had a few characters that people were losing their minds over, particularly the redesign of Milena and Kitana. Starfield, people were losing their minds over Andreja. And we were talking about one of the mods last week was to give Andreja more junk in their trunk. And then we've had Cyberpunk come out or resurface with their 2.0 update and Phantom Liberty as well. So people living out all the Idris Elba fantasies, as well as going back to characters like Pan and things like that. So just as a broad look at what we've had so far, people be wild.
I mean, we've got to get through the apocalypse somehow.
Yes, 100%. All of this is said with zero negativity towards this. It was just an observation that I had.
Oh, no.
Oh, there has been negativity by some idiots online because they're just idiots. But overall, yeah, it has been an incredibly horny year for video games this year. And I didn't even realize half of them. I didn't realize there was a crush for Zelda, or the Zelda, one of the characters in Zelda, and everything like that. I'm very much not on social media as much anymore, so I'm pretty much I
think sometimes it goes down to how much you vibe. I can't believe we're having a serious discussion about this. I think sometimes it goes down to how much you vibe with the game in general. Like all the stuff Vitz was saying about Baldur's Gate 3 is 100% can confirm. Like I played that game for a month. And was very thirsty for everybody in it. It was another pansexual's paradise. I mean, you saw the screenshots I was sending you, some of the situations I got into. But when you were talking about things like Diablo and Final Fantasies, like, because I wasn't into those games as much, I don't think I saw the thirst as much.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't escape. It wasn't like a Lady D situation where it escaped the fandom and just exploded all over social media.
Interesting choice of words.
Yeah,
I realized it as soon as I said it, but... What are you going to do?
We know it.
That's how thirsty it is this year.
That's how thirsty this gal is.
But I think with a lot of things, especially with Final Fantasy 16, when you take the actor like Ben Starr and them leaning into it as well, because they recognize how...
Sure. Yeah. I've seen all of the stuff from the Baldur's Gate actors.
No, 100%. And it's one of these where I think people are actually leaning into to this. I don't want to refer to it as a bit, they are. Yeah. Well, they're leaning into it and really taking ownership of it, and I think it's wonderful.
Fantastic.
Do you think part of it is down to the fact that, like, the way in which sort of like the gaming audience as a whole has moved into, like, you know, like, we want to talk about horny years for games, we could talk about all of those really fucking cringy sexualized adverts from the 90s and stuff. Like, horniness has always been there, but those were always aimed exclusively at teenage boys with hormones running out of control. Whereas now you should go back and watch some of those adverts again. Vitz can tell you, you go, ooh. I shared one with him the other day, and it was like, oh no.
That's it. It's like that song. Stacey's mom, it's just like, oh god, no, no, stop.
You were like 20 years ago, it was like, yeah, and then you listen to it today and you're like, no. But no, like, I think the way the audience has gone, I think games in general just lean into it more, right? As part of like their marketing in general. Like, again, with Lady Dimitrescu, there's a reason why Lady Dimitrescu was front and center of Resident Evil Village's marketing, because it was going to activate a certain portion of both the Resident Evil fandom and just people in general. Yes. And I think that's part of the reason why I think gaming is at least getting hornier, with a few spikes here and there in the past, such as Bazet.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, like one of my favorite games this year, Stray Gods. That's nothing but horniness. It's horniness throughout all of it, and it's like fantastic, and I love it. And I'm just like, you can hook up with pretty much all the characters, separate, not all in one playthrough, but like if you want to go through multiple playthroughs, you can bloody do that. And you're just like, I love you all.
Yes. It's
like, like freaking one of my favorite games this year, The Expanse, the Telltale series. Like, there's a scene in there which Amy knows about where I spoke about ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, if who are the fucking 12% who picked right? Who picked right? You don't pick right, you go left. And it's not a political thing. It's about getting your character into a sexy position, a sexy situation. And it's just like, you go left. You go fucking left. I don't care if you're gay or not. You still go left.
Doesn't matter if you're gay. Drummer's gay.
Yeah,
and that's what counts.
Yeah, it really is. And like in Volcano High, like that was a very thirsty game a little bit in a certain way, just for the characters of how they are with each other and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I also loved like the romances in that game as well. For like my character romance at the end, I was just like, just because of how authentic it was, I was just like, yeah, I'm in love. I'm just like, everyone leave the room now. Thank you very much. Things are gonna happen, type of thing. But no, yeah, it is a very horny year in video
I think
games.
you just have a lot of love to give. I think that's just what I'm hearing here.
I think that.
Go on, Vitz,
Sorry,
go on.
I think
No, go
the other thing that I wanted to just bring up is that obviously the video game people, the population who play games these days, kind of thing, they've all grown up with games and they've matured a bit, so they are more in touch with their emotions and their feelings and whatnot.
I would question the maturity
to some extent, but yeah,
we're talking about horniest games of the year here, Vitz. There's no maturity in this.
No, but it's one of these where instead of feeling that you might need to hide those emotions within yourself, kind of thing, it is more socially acceptable to speak about these things, and speaks to a lot of why so many of these things are getting traction where years they may not.
Is it more socially acceptable to speak about these things, or do we just not give a fuck anymore?
That's the right answer.
I think it's more, we don't give a fucking effing like that. But like for me, like it's just like going a little personal for me and everything like that. Like 2 games in 2021 changed my life and changed who I realized what my sexuality was. Like a lot of people don't realize. I don't think a lot of people realize that I've revealed myself to be pansexual, and that is because of the remaster of the Mass Effect trilogy,
which I was going to bring up.
Yes, and also I've stated on many occasions this game not only I truly believe I've said it saved my life, but it also changed my life, and that was Life is Strange: True Colors. The true romance is in that game. I went for both of them. I was just like, yes, I lean more towards Steph. Steph is the better character overall. I do not deny that. She is absolutely an amazing character. There's a reason why she got DLC. No offense to the other one, didn't get DLC. But the thing is, though, Amy like loves all 3 of them. And she'll always go for Steph. But she loves all 3 because we want to see these 3 characters again in a new game and going on new adventures and everything. And that's what it is. And it's just like, give us that. Give all 3 of those characters again. I will adore that. And like I'm screaming, please Deck 9, please Deck 9. Come on, Deck 9, you can do it. You finished Expanse. Now go return to what made you. What made me make you type of thing. But anyway, Life is Strange is like you can even confirm that character to be. What I like is that they give you a choice of like if you want to, you can play the character completely straight, and you can even say that she's straight, or you can say I'm bi, or you can say I'm gay and everything. I think that's a great. It frees up so much like excitement for a lot of people, like what they want to do. But also for me, it was just like I'm just gonna play this because I didn't realize I was playing it in a way of just like, oh no, wait, I will go out with that guy, I will go out with that girl type of thing. And I was thinking, but is it because I'm bi, or is it because I was pan? And but overall, after researching everything like that, I realized I was pansexual and everything, and it was just it was an eye-opening experience for me. So it was like all these horniness that's going on in 2023. Probably a lot of people are having that experience of realizing what their sexuality is, which is incredibly daunting, I think, for a lot of people can be, but also is going to be a massively eye-opening for a lot of people, which can be a scary experience. But I think if you go down it in the right way and research it properly, you're going to really realize who you probably really are.
Yeah, I think, well, the thing as well to remember is sexuality isn't necessarily rigid, right? Like, we all use labels, but we on this podcast, you use labels to define our own sexuality, but it's not necessarily like...
It's not set in stone.
Yeah, it's not set, well... sort of, but like your Moody's version of pansexualism, pansexuality, isn't going to be the same as somebody else's version of pansexuality. You experience it differently. Why am I mixing words up like this? This is not good. Maybe I'm just too horny. You're going to experience it in different ways and express it in different ways as to other people. And video games give you an outlet to do that, especially choice-based video games, which give you the option to fuck around. Get stomped by a 10-foot... get stomped by a 10-foot vampire lady who hates men and is... Yeah.
I think we lost Amy for a moment.
Amy,
hello.
come back to us. Hello.
Hi. Sorry.
Hello.
Hey, replay Resident Evil Village.
Just for that one castle.
Yeah, I've got a save file, as you walk into the castle.
Do you reckon it was a decent game design choice to front load the game with Lady Dimitrescu, or
Yes.
should they have put that towards the end?
No, it was a good idea. We talked about this after we played the game, where it was it was such a good idea because they managed to not spoil the next part of the game, which only works if you don't know what's going to happen going into it. So it was a nice obfuscation
on her and her only. No one gave a fuck about the rest of the game. Basically.
Yeah,
100%.
So then when you walk into the next situation, it was like,
no, no, thank you.
What's happening?
I do not want to see the baby.
So when you see that baby scene, you're like, what the fuck? You're like, where did this come from? Where is the sexiness gone?
That's the opposite of horny.
Yeah. It's like, take me back to the castle. Take me back to the castle right now and chain me up. So
Yeah, put me back on that chainy thing where I was.
Yeah.
I was happy up there. But I think any conversation about the horniest year of video games does have to contend with Mass Effect coming out on Xbox 360 and causing a Fox News scandal. Because of its sex scene with Liara. Before the game was even really that horny. Mass Effect didn't really get horny until later on in the series, but Mass Effect 1 happened to have a scene where, Commander Shepard had sex with Blue Alien.
It's the same scene, just with Ashley and Kaden. They just copied out. Ooh, they must have hated Avatar. Seriously,
I don't think it was
hated Avatar.
I don't think it was the
blue people there.
I don't think it was the smurfness of Liara so much as it was the fact that Liara was feminine presenting and Commander Shepard was a woman in the clips that they used when they called it the sex box. That was the name they had for the scandal. Sex box.
No wonder they sold so many of Xboxes.
Mass Effect did go on to become one of the most beloved series of all time.
And they leaned into that sexiness.
There are reasons for that.
Well, you've got to think. At least some of the people watching Fox News are all they hate all of this stuff, but secretly it's a front. So I wonder how many of those people secretly went out and bought Mass Effect.
I can't believe they're doing this.
I can't believe they're doing this. Which specific game is it?
Where can I buy it?
Is it on offer at Best Buy?
Oh no, I've just ordered it.
I have to see this filth for myself.
This filth is amazing. I mean, this filth is just filth. Good God. Good God, yes. Why am I going wrong way now, damn it?
No, I think video games have been horny for a while. I mean, I don't have a prepared research list. I mean, I can think. I just think back to things like Boyfriend Dungeon was another game that was definitely very thirsty.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Dragon Age Inquisition had some incredible scenes.
Oh yeah,
based around its romances.
Iron Bull for the win. Well done to you.
I mean, Iron Bull definitely takes the win for that one.
Cassandra's was absolutely epic.
I like Josephine's. I don't know if it wasn't the final scene, but there was a couple of good scenes in the lead up to it. That was the only one I did. I never played that game once. I really need to fix that too. But yeah, no, for me, I like to think of it around the moments in the community, not necessarily the video game. So when we were all talking about Baldur's Gate 3 a couple of months ago, that was fun. Bowsette was incredible. Just that wild ride that was, and things like Lady Dimitrescu as well. We come together as a community to collectively thirst over things.
100%.
That very small and brief window with that one Pokemon.
What what's the quote? Like, Pokemon Go was the closest we ever came to world peace. I think the moments of horniness that the video game industry has.
I genuinely think, yeah, if we lean into
microisms.
this, peace could reign throughout the gaming community. Because we can all agree.
We'll never have to ask again. Well, when will my husband return from the console? It will just be peace.
Yeah. It's fine. I don't need to know when my husband will return from the console wars because I've got Lady Dimitrescu to keep me company. And
There you go.
or Karlach, or Asterion.
All three.
Or Sid. He had his shirt open the whole time. I can't believe you forgot him.
Everybody did.
That's true.
Joshua didn't. He had some evil shit going on inside of it.
Yeah. In conclusion, yes.
Yes.
It's a horny year.
It's a horny year for video games. Long may it continue.
Yeah, bring on
2024, you've got a lot to live up
2024.
to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Basically, if we don't get an orgy in one video game next year, 2024, you've failed us. So you know.
Yeah.
There you go. They've been put on notice.
Being put on notice.
Well, what constitutes an orgy?
More than 3 people, isn't it?
Well, you can have a 4-way in Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay, you need a massive orgy. You need at
mean
least a
5.
20 people orgy.
Whoa, hang on. I don't think my graphics card can handle that.
And my Xbox is only so small, it might melt.
It's a Series S. I'm going to need the power of the PlayStation for this one.
Just turn it off. Do these tools still work?
We have some fun on the show.
Well,
You have
if it was
to.
On this, holy shit, this
100%.
would be on fire right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cloud or not, I don't care. The
Shit.
thing would still melt.
Of course, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out next year. 2024 is the horniest year for video games, or will be.
Yes.
Because how did I forget Tifa and Aerith, and also Cloud in a dress in 2020? I take it back. This wasn't. 2020 was the horniest year for video games.
Wow, that one game has changed it all.
Yeah.
For him.
He changed a lot of things. It was amazing.
It changed a lot of things.
Yeah, changed a lot of things indeed.
It changed my shipping opinion of Final Fantasy VII. Tifa and Aerith actually spoke to each other.
It did. They passed the
Did they
Bechdel test
never
and
speak to
everything.
each other in the original game?
Not really. No,
Really?
they didn't really have much of a relationship. Well, they were
Well, I
competitors.
know something happens to one of them. So,
Sure, they were competitors, right? It was like, who does Cloud gonna date, Tifa or Aerith? Woo! And I think they had a couple of moments. Like, again, I'm working off of a decade ago. I think was the last time I played that game. But yeah, it's much more pronounced in Final Fantasy VII to the point
Going
that
off the sequel film, he chose neither. And you could only choose one, and he still didn't even choose either. So
well,
he
would have
chose
been
his bike with multiple swords.
fair
Lots
choice.
of penetration with devices he has there.
It's a fair choice. But now the correct choice is Tifa and Aerith together, and Cloud would be very supportive of that.
Cloud's got Sephiroth. We've all seen the trailers for Rebirth.
Cloud's got Barrett, isn't he? Anyone else?
That's true.
And that was also an option in the first game. Okay. Does anybody else
Just
have
think,
anything?
we've got Like a Dragon next year in January, where he did literally butt ass naked on the beach. So who knows how horny that game's gonna go?
I'm trying to think of it. Nothing springs immediately to mind. I'll probably have a eureka moment and in a couple hours be like, this game.
Yes, it will be the horny one.
Thank you for bringing us this topic, Vitz.
All different kinds of welcome.
So should we talk about some video games that may be horny? I don't know. I've not played any of them. Holiday?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's do it in the order that they're listed here. Vitz, you've been playing Forza Motorsport, right?
I have, yeah. So it released in early access this week for those who either have early access to Game Pass on PC or on Xbox on Series S or X. So I've sunk a good number of hours into it so far. It is by no means perfect. I'm a little confused as to why it's getting such glowing reviews. Not because it's taking points away from you, Amy. Obviously, you deserve all the time.
I need them.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of these where the game isn't finished in a number of places. But for most of the critical reviews, it's like, it's fine, it's good, it's Forza, it's not Forza Horizon, but it's more Forza.
That's the one we all secretly want.
That's it. Yeah, so they have a number of issues to fix, namely there's some visual glitches and some levels of LODs, level to detail, that are popping in too soon or too late, that kind of thing. And just from the physics and the way all the cars feel, a lot of understeer is built in, I think by design, but it just makes it a really challenging thing to get on board with. And it really just ups the fun. The new mechanic that they've introduced here to turn it into the car PG that people have been mentioning makes me feel a little bit sick every time you say it, is to essentially limit or make sure you don't have too much fun with the progression of how you improve your cars and add new bits to it, and essentially make it go faster. And it's locked behind you having to use your car in a number of races to cover lots of race miles in them, and then you can unlock certain parts. But it's not a free choice of what parts you can do. It's a very prescribed set, and it's the same for every single car. And it just feels like a grind at this point. But the racing is fun when the cars are behaving, which is not often. But I'm looking forward to sinking more time to it in the next couple of weeks.
Sorry, I can't believe I laughed at the fact that you put the sentence. You know, they want to make sure you don't have too much fun.
Oh, this is
what?
It. I mean, there's a. I think the director Chris Sasaki, they were coming up with a line of why it's not called Forza Motorsport 8 and it's just called Forza Motorsport, how it's a reboot of the series, and it is essentially a service. And instead of trying to throw loot boxes your way to try and get more money out of you, the metric they want to get out of you is your time. So there will be drip feeding new events and new races over the course of the next 18 months or so. I think they've rolled out they've shown the roadmap for, and it's one of these where there will be new stuff coming to the game, and that's where they want to keep your attention, but they have a few things to fix first.
I feel like I'm just like, this isn't a comment on the quality of Forza Motorsport or your review. Your review is very good. I wonder if, like, this is another reason why I just rebelled against video games this weekend and played Final Fantasy X. Like, game not finished. Not as long as you don't have too much fun, and we're going to drip feed the content slowly over the course of the day. Just give me a game. It's like right now, I'm just in this headspace where I'm like, just give me a game that I can play.
Well, this will just be probably just the higher ups saying, "Yo, guys," they're probably everyone else, the team was probably saying 2024, and then they've cut. Then the higher ups of this said, "Nope."
I don't get that either, because, like, okay, I guess sure, it's a meme that Xbox doesn't have any games or whatever. They've got Starfield. Starfield could have kept them going for the rest of the year. Like, they didn't need anything else, like first party wise. But they could have delayed it easily enough, because Starfield is a huge game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, like it's weird that they have not delayed it, but really, if you think about it, because like their mantra was, or their eventual mantra, they said it's going to be is like a new exclusive every 4 months, in it. Basically, they could have delayed this for 4 months from Starfield, and that could have given them that little extra time to put in the things that everyone complains about these days. Apparently, is we don't have 60 frames per second, people. Oh my god, it's the end of the world.
Wait, we don't?
And
even with Forza, so it's launching without like split screen on, and I imagine that's to do with Series S. And the way they run
it. Yes, I can guarantee you this. It is always the S bits.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how Microsoft kind of deals with that going, because games are getting less complex, and it might be that developers just like, okay, Series S will be behind.
They're not going to leave the Series S behind, but they need to, and this is coming from a proud Series S owner who will shout its virtues from the rooftops. They do need to drop feature parity between the Series X and the Series S. That's how Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to Xbox, because they dropped the 100%. Thing that was making it not work on the Series S. Like Halo Infinite launched without split screen most likely because of the Series S, and it's just like you just need to drop the feature parity.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they navigate that conversation, because obviously they said at the stall that it would be feature parity, but now obviously the industry has changed, and it's one of these where you're right in what you're saying, 100%. They do need to kind of bite the bullet on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Moody, I cut across you.
No, don't worry. Yeah,
Like a car. I got that reference.
This is your impression / review for it, so yeah, you go ahead. But no, it's like, yeah, it's the Series S. Like, I'll shout it to the rooftops of how great of a console it is, for so accessible for people with the price point and everything. It's absolutely amazing. But behind those doors, for a developer thing, it's like it is a pain in the ass. It is such a pain in the backside, and I can see why Xbox want to do this, like parity thing and whatnot. I really do, and I can understand that. But when you put limitations on one of the consoles, it does make it incredibly difficult, and like crunch can come out of it and everything and whatnot. So it's because of this, and like, or things like what happens, like Baldur's Gate, they're saying no, Xbox, you ain't coming out until next year. What? Why? Wait, what?
Because
that game this year, guys. We want you on our console as soon as possible. What can we do for you? Get rid of this thing on PS, please. Yeah. Done. Basically, because like I said, the X and the PS5, they're similar. They're practically similar. They're little differences, but they are practically the similar thing, and so they're great for that. It's very easy to port over to it and everything. But no, yeah, but I can like say, yes, is their best thing. It's the best selling thing they've got compared to the X. But I think that's also because they gave them that option.
Yes.
That's the thing about it. Like PS5, the best selling one for that is the disc one, and everything like that. But they have got the PlayStation is the bigger brand compared to what Xbox is. So I think it was always going to probably be that the dividends towards it. But yeah, but they had to do something different. Xbox, they had to try something different when it came to the new gen, and they've done a great thing. Like I said, the S is amazing. Developer-wise, it's a pain in the ass, but like for people, I'll always defend it.
100%. I think when you're in third place, you have to take bold moves, and this is absolutely one of them. But the Series S is no excuse for why the team at Turn 10 still failed to do anything, or why they chose to lie about what they're doing with the AI, because it's still a janky AF, and how they deal with the physics in the games, and how you can't drive any curbs without causing death-dealing understeer, immediately turning into whip neck oversteer as well, and causing you whiplash and all sorts of things. So they need to work on a few of those things. But I if you're enjoying the game, more power to you in its current state, and I hope it just gets better for all of us.
Oh, guarantee it will get better over the times, and it will eventually hit probably 60 frames, no doubt about that. But when that will be.
Horizon 6. No, it sounds like. I mean, it still sounds like it's got some problems, but you seem to be. Are you having a good time with it, or?
As I said about the progression and it being slow, so it doesn't throw you into driving the cars, which I usually gravitate for. So if we're playing a racing game, I'm in it for racing cars, not necessarily driving road cars on race circuits. So we haven't got to that point in the game yet. So it is just. I don't want to use the term, but it's trudging through all the road cars until we can get to the stuff that I towards and really looking to. So if the race cars handle terribly, then it's game over for this game. Then it's okay, we'll put the wheel away and we'll go find something else.
It's game over for this game when the next Horizon comes out.
Yes.
That's not guaranteed. That's no offense to Motorsport. I haven't touched it yet, so I can't comment on it yet. I don't know if I will be able to even get time to touch it because I've got other games that I want to try. But it's a shame for it. But we'll see what happens.
Don't say, just play the old one. I'm finding this is a good strategy for myself, so I'm just going to start suggesting it to everyone else.
I've done everything in Forza Horizon 5 though, so it's kind of that's it. We're done.
There's other Forza Motorsports. Do the cars handle well in better in older ones? Or?
So I've only ever played Forza 7, and I think I played Forza 4 back in the 360 days, so I'm not going to count that. But it is much improved over how the cars handled in Forza 7 when they were even more terrible than they are now. I don't think we're a million miles away from where it needs to be. It just needs a little bit of tweaking.
Gotcha.
And it shouldn't be left on the user to have to dig around forums for best like force feedback settings for individual wheels and then setups for cars. It should just play great fresh out of the box kind of thing, but at the moment it doesn't.
Fair enough. I understand now. Cars go boom.
They surely do.
Cool. So we've got more games here apparently. Moody. I'm assuming this was you.
No, it was Vitz.
Well, I was going to say, just pick one, and then we'll do that. And then we'll do the other one after that.
Under the Waves.
Under the Waves.
The story is of a man called Stan, a professional diver in the North Sea, is struggling to overcome a life-changing loss during an extended mission underwater. Stuck in his self-imposed isolation and seclusion, he starts to experience strange events that will have to make the most significant choices of his life. Overall, the game right now, to what I can see, it's getting really great reviews and everything, and I'm really happy for that. I gave up on this game.
I knew that was coming. Everybody else really likes it, and I'm waiting for that. But
no, the worst thing is about it, Amy, I was loving this game.
Oh no.
That's the thing about it. I was loving it, and I got to a part where it was just like, I open it and open-minded. I'll state this like this: a lot of people know I have ADHD. I'm autistic and everything like that, and a lot of things can confuse me very easily sometimes. And when a part just gets really too confusing for me, and I'm just getting lost, and I'm going back on myself, and not realizing I'm going back on myself at a certain point in the game, which I was loving, by the way. Like I state, I just went, I'm out. I have to put you down. You're vexing me, and I need to put you away. And I just went, well, there's also, I want to play other games as well. So I just uninstalled it, and I've returned it to Boomerang. And they sent me an email today and that they got it. So I think eventually I will go back to this game, hopefully by the end of the year. And Under the Waves, like, the story's really interesting. It's like what it says, like, as a person who's suffering from trying to overcome a life-changing loss, and it's really well done. It's a very buggy game to what I could see. Like, the lip syncing is completely out of sync. Like, mouth is moving before words starts happening, and it's like, that's very
like
interesting. yeah, basically, yeah. And but the voice acting, the person they got to do the voice acting does a really good job in it and everything. And the one being Under the Sea, it's like really, really good. It's really beautiful, and it's really flushed out really well. I
was waiting for the puns.
That was not intentional. It's like I really was enjoying this to a point of like really, really loving it just because of the story and everything and what you were doing. But just by the end of it, it was just go here, pick this up, go here, pick this up, go here, go there, yada 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 yada.
And then when it got to that,
go on.
Sorry, you wouldn't necessarily say it's down where it's wetter, it's better.
Oh God.
Walk away.
Why didn't you use that one 15 minutes ago, Vitz?
Now talking about Under the Sea.
No, but like, yeah, I hit a wall with this game, and I was just like, I gotta put this down, and I'm just putting it away and everything like that. So
happens.
I'm over the moon to see, like, right now on Steam, it's like got mostly positive and everything, which is fantastic to hear and everything. And on OpenCritic, I think it's like in the high 70s, which is great as well. So it's like I really was enjoying this, and just I hit the wall, and I was just like, nope, I have to put it down, which was really vexing. Because that's why I think it's upsetted me the most, because I was enjoying the story for this game. I really do like stories. And if I can even if I don't, even though what's happened to the character as touchwood has not happened to me in the future or anytime soon or anytime at all, I could feel it. I felt what he was going through and everything, which was really done. Again, a testament to the voice acting and voice performance, and the writing overall was really, really good for it. I might go back to it, but right now I can't really give this a recommendation. But if you like, but other people, I clearly are enjoying it, so I'm over the moon for that and everything. And it's obviously found an audience, which is great to hear. So, Under the Waves, it gets a no from me for now.
A no for now.
Yeah, maybe I'll go back. Who knows? Next one is a game I did complete, because I actually texted Amy that I started it, and texted her a few hours later that I completed it.
Same day. Same
day. Cocoon, from Jesper Carlson, is it? I think. The lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside, Cocoon takes you to an adventure across worlds within worlds, master world-leaping mechanics, and solve intricate puzzles to unravel the cosmic mystery.
Of the balls.
This is the best puzzle game of the year by a country mile for me, and personally, I absolutely adored it. I think visually it's really very unique and very interesting. Like, I personally loved Inside. Like, by the end of it, I was just like, this is amazing. And I wasn't to the level, I didn't hit that height with this for it, but by the end of it, I was still like, I've had a fantastic time. Great, awesome, and I really, really enjoyed it. Like, it's all like the puzzles are just really different and unique, and it was very when you had to make my mind work a little bit. That's really good.
But just a little
just a little bit. Some puzzles were, but I won't lie, some puzzles were just like, nah, don't know. YouTube, where are you? I will not deny that or anything like that. But I had a lot of fun with it. It's just a really intriguing puzzle game that's just really unique and just works with what it works. Like, I really liked some of the puzzles. Like, you have to go within a world to actually solve the puzzle, and it's just like really different and unique. And I really, really enjoyed that for that element. Like I said, there's no story to it, which I have no problem with because I pretty much knew what I was going in for. Unlike like Viewfinder, which kind of was telling a story, which I don't think really landed, which was one of my negatives for the game. This one's like there's no story. I won't lie. I don't understand the cosmic mystery by the end. I won't deny that. But I wasn't really in there to solve the cosmic mystery. I was there to solve and enjoy a very enjoyable puzzle game. Like when we saw this at
Summer Games
Fest or whatever it was, I was just like, give me that now. And I was off. So when I heard it was out, I was like, boom, boom, buy, boom, complete. And I was. It was like,
that's what
like
happened.
That, so
Can't confirm.
It was like that. So it's a brilliant, if you're looking for a great puzzle game, go and check out Cocoon. It's one of the best puzzle games of the year, no doubt about it, if not the best puzzle game of the year.
Available on Game Pass, so that's where I've been playing it. I'm only dealing with a world within a world at the moment, but I'm enjoying it for what I've played so far of running around as a fly and then meeting a little friend who can help take down some pillars and all the rest of it, and then trying not to get them caught in various traps and things like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to it. I don't with Forza.
This thing's on Game Pass?
It is on Game Pass, yeah.
I didn't fucking know that.
Wait, what? You bought the game?
I bought the game on PlayStation 5. I didn't know it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Well,
Sorry.
You have to apologize. Oh, they got money.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with supporting developers of the games that you love.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about that. How can I return this game after I've completed it?
Only if you played it for less than 2 hours.
Yeah, how quickly did we do it?
You need to get that speed running going. That's cool. Like, as someone who's interested in the game, it's nice to hear both of the people who come on this podcast whose opinions I listen to about video games talk about how much they're enjoying the game or have enjoyed the game in Moody's case. So that's good. That makes me feel good about the fact that I have it downloaded. I just to do something else this weekend.
No, you need to be.
Go on.
Yeah, I would say you need to be in the right headspace to be in that puzzle mindset, though. Otherwise,
I know the heads. I know the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The portal headspace.
Yeah, I'm like the same right now. I've got Mortal Kombat right there in my console. It's installed and everything. I just haven't touched it. It's not. Yeah, I haven't had the time. At the same time, I'm just like the only time I had time to do stuff was the weekend, and I was thinking, do I want to try and smash out Sea of Stars, or do I want to take my time with that? And because I'm really enjoying Sea of Stars, or do I want to smash through a couple of games that, on paper, they say they're not that long. On paper, the worst thing about Under the Waves is going off on what I've read. I wasn't that far from the ending,
sure,
which is even more infuriating. But
No, yeah, I had a similar experience when I accidentally rented Assassin's Creed Mirage, and it arrived today, and I went out to get my bloods done, and I came back and it was on the bench, and I looked at it and I just went,
nope.
There was none of that excitement about a new game. It was just, oh God.
Yeah, mine's on the way. It hasn't arrived yet. I'm guessing mine will arrive tomorrow. But yeah, it's
Nothing against the game. It's just one of those things where it's like, this isn't where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be at that. Like, I was thinking maybe I can try and like work my way through Sea of Stars over the weekend or something like that because I'm really.
Well, I've played a few hours of Sea of Stars, the week before, but that was like when I originally turned on my Xbox. To play a game, it was, I should play Sea of Stars. I just didn't want to. Not because the game was bad. I'm really enjoying the game, but it was just like, it's not my vibe right now. I'm done. I'm done forcing myself through games because they're current. Not because I have to. Anywhere. Yeah, the game's not going anywhere, right?
Well, okay, I should caveat that they might.
They might.
Digital marketplaces these days, but for the most part, they're not going anywhere.
The game's not going anywhere right now.
Yeah, unless it does, then it's not my fault.
But we'll blame you either way.
We'll just set sail if it disappears. There's means of procuring things that disappear.
That's it. I mean, some of them you don't have to develop an accent for.
Not at all. 3 cool sounding games from 2 cool sounding people. That work?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. It's time for Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do every week where we talk about a cool looking upcoming indie game and get you to wishlist it. And Amy saw the words immersive sim in a store description, and that was that. This week's Indie Game of the Week is Core Decay. Travel across a dying Earth and uncover a sinister plot to preserve humanity, no matter the cost, even if it means redefining what makes us alive. In an old-school atmospheric immersive sim that explores the nature of consciousness and individuality. Said immersive sim. I mean, they don't make those games very much anymore. Probably because it's a niche. It's a niche audience, but you also have to build like a functional world.
Yeah.
So you essentially have to build a AAA game for a small audience, which is probably why they don't make them very much anymure.
Yeah, that's a tough sell for investors.
There's only so many platforms I can buy Dishonored on. I'm but one person. But this looks really cool. Looks really interesting. Like they've gone for the throwback approach, where it's like they're going for the classic approach to the immersive sim rather than building like a modern day one, which will keep the budget down. I would imagine
down.
Keep that budget down. And everybody loves retro games nowadays. This is being developed by Javar Hill and Slipgate Ironworks, published by 3D Realms. It's coming to be announced to Steam. There's a link in the description wherever you get this podcast. Go click it. Go look at the trailer. Wishlist the game. It's very important to wishlist the game. Always wishlist your games. Plus, as I found out this week, when 13 games I had on my Steam wishlist all came out, you get a notification for every single one. That number was not exaggerated.
How much did you sweat when you saw that?
There was a day where every time I picked my phone out of my pocket, I had a new notification from Steam, and I was like, at some point this is going to stop, right?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, yeah. Like so many. I was like, no, I don't have any money. I'm playing Final Fantasy. But yeah, Core Decay. Go check it out. Go wishlist it. Support developers. Always support cool developers. We like supporting developers. And that'll take us into halftime, I believe.
Halftime.
Bit of a halftime.
See you soon.
And we're back. I mean, he's getting his cardio in during halftime.
Oh, my fucking legs
I've now just got visions of you like going to get a drink or something, but the entire way you were just going.
Also walking sideways.
Yes, like Zoidberg. Oh, that was a joke in a streaming highlights video when Moody was streaming Dead Space. I was scanning through for like good clips to put in, and he did a jump scare and he made the exact noise that Dr. Zoidberg made, like completely unintentionally.
Oh yeah, you said that.
So I edited the clip of Zoidberg like doing his thing. He was like, whoa, 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 and I just went, what the fuck?
Yeah, we've had some good highlight videos. I won't lie. Like,
Definitely.
I've gone back and watched some of them, and it's just like, good times.
Yeah,
good
yeah, definitely.
times. Yeah, like some of the Among Us ones, like,
I mean, those were
they are pretty legendary.
We had some legendary moments in Among Us for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
It just so happens that we got a group of people together who are all funny in their own ways, and it created this perfect storm. And also, we're all idiots,
That helped as well, no doubt
so that
about
helped.
And I took a joke, like a lot of jokes.
Yeah, Moody took a lot of shit.
I took a lot.
Especially the one like that 1 3-week period of just sustained like Moody is the main character.
It was a lot of fun though.
It was.
I
was.
took a joke.
I'll send. I don't know if you've seen the one video, which is Moody's favorite video I've ever made, but I'll send you it.
Thank you very much.
Of me torturing him in Among Us for weeks on end.
It was like 3 weeks.
It was like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Yeah. Among Us side is. I want to get back into playing like streaming Faz and Fall Guys and stuff every now and again.
Or party animals.
Or party animals. Sometimes I don't think the venue, the game, is the thing that's important. I think it's the people that are important.
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like we could be playing any old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should install party animals. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Moody, you're back. You get to shine this week.
It's my time to shine.
Vitz stepped in very
titles,
admirably
though.
last week. He shone
He
very
always
well.
shines. I only shine on once every day, once a week.
That,
Vitz is always
wait,
shining.
is that what Friday means? One of these days, you're going to turn up to this podcast covered in glitter for a bit.
No.
Then you will be the 3-star champ.
Well, with 3 threes on it.
Just like
Yeah, champ.
all the headlights off, you'll just have one light shining on you, just reflecting the glitter. It's a whole thing. I think we could do it.
Always it's the whole thing. Always is. Well, let's start with a thing that I helped create in me. Bramble the Mountain King wins Best Independent Game at the NYX Game Awards 2023.
Congratulations. It's very well deserved. It's a very good game.
Thank you very much.
And congrats to you and everybody who worked on Bramble.
Yeah, it was I didn't find this out until I found this out after. So we found it out, I think, on Monday, and that was obviously the day of a certain thing that we found out on Monday, which we will talk about. So like that day, I was just like, I'm not in a good mood. It's like, but like, we was not in a good mood. So, but when our friend from work texted, like we're all in a big giant WhatsApp together, and like just posted in there, we were just like, thank you. We all
Okay.
needed that. We kind of just needed cheering up. Which is just really, which was like, yeah, we all needed it and everything. So it was always a good thing to see this and everything. Like the team Dimfrops have done like an incredible thing and everything, and I look forward to seeing what they do next and everything for whatever their future game is and whatnot. So, but yeah, Dimfrost have done a cracking job, and congratulations to the entire team.
I look forward to breaking whatever they make next.
I told my team about that, and we were just like, how the fuck's she done that? And I was like, I have no idea, because we tried to replicate
As
it.
always.
We tried to replicate it. And I was like, we've got to try and replicate this, right? Yeah, so we tried to replicate on our break. And I was just like, I don't know how she's done this. I honestly don't know how she's done this.
That's how I do.
Because we tried to replicate it. We couldn't replicate it. So I was just like, what the hell?
I'm just that good. Maybe I need a job at Merge Games.
Maybe. We are hiring.
Hey, don't tempt me. Although with the way the rest of this podcast is going to go, I don't know if that's the right career move for me. But no, yeah, Bramble the Mountain King. It's on Game Pass, people. Go check it out.
Sure is.
One Daffy Reed did some QA for that game. And despite the jokes about me breaking the game, it's actually a very solid game.
Even though there was 2 bugs that were still in the game that they refound.
I mean, Vitz was here. Vitz was here last week when I explained what I did to Fallout 76. That was unprecedented. Like, I find a way.
She does. Yeah, she does. That was funny. No doubt about it. The rest is a hot pile of mess. So let's go to Vitz's watched Gran Turismo movie.
Vitz had some. Vitz has some thoughts.
Okay, I take this back. Let's go to something else. Vitz, help me, please. Or something. We're going into hell after this, mate. So
we're going into hell right now. Vitz, what did you think of the Gran Turismo movie?
I had some thoughts, and I think I've taken a lead from Amy's book. So I love and adore you, Amy, but also Amy that I picked up in terms of I had to start writing all this stuff down just to get it out of my system, and then it's okay, it's done. I don't necessarily have to do with it. I don't necessarily have to share it, like post it anyway. It's like okay, it's now I can go back to being.
You got it out on a page for yourself, and then I dragged you onto this, and now I dragged you onto this podcast, and I'm going to force you to share.
It is. To me, my particular personal sensibilities with being a fan of Gran Turismo and for how much I love that series and what a film with the name Gran Turismo is supposed or could have been, this is one of the biggest disappointments of the year. It is horrid on a number of levels. So in my blood that I only wanted 3 things from a Gran Turismo movie to include everything I liked about Gran Turismo. So the music that uses the visual cues and just taking all the hallmarks and could be classed as Easter eggs, and that people would actually resonate. I want it to be a compelling retelling. The movie goes.
You cut out a little bit there.
We're not cutting out again. Yeah, I wanted it to be a compelling retelling of GT Academy. So the movie covers the story of Jan Mardenborough, who was a person who was a sim racer, had one of these, and used it to great effect to win a contest to become a real-life professional driver. The movie tries to do this, but ham-fists its way through changing the order of ways certain things happened and bringing back some trauma for a family who lost one for the sake of being a motivational beat for this plot, and it just didn't work. The third thing I want to do is just to be a great racing movie, and it fails on all three parts. And it's not much to ask of a movie called Gran Turismo. Just either the people who made this film, they knew what they're doing and just thought, oh, it's okay, we just don't need to worry. We're just making it for quote unquote the lowest common denominator, and don't worry about anything else. Or they knew exactly what they care, and I think it's more of a because we have had some brilliant video game adaptations. It's just this isn't one of them, and it's far of the mark. So if you have if hearing the words Gran Turismo brings back any warm feelings in you, don't watch this movie. That's all I'll say.
Wow.
But yeah. Damn.
And if
it did the one cardinal sin of Gran Turismo has this iconic theme, Moon Over the Castle by Masahiro Ando, and it's one of these which opens every single Gran Turismo, and the movie had one job: use that song in a brilliant way and bring it back again and again and again, and they just didn't. And the Uncharted movie had the same issue. They only bring back Nate's theme during the credits, and it's kind of where was this throughout the movie? Had the sound file, why didn't you choose to use it? And it's just one of disappointment on disappointment. So yeah, but Jerry Halliwell's acting is not the worst part of this movie, but it's pretty close.
Wow. I've seen her acting in the Spice Girls movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
She's married a doofus, so can't help that.
Yeah, sorry, Jerry Halliwell Horner, as she goes by these days.
Ginger Spice.
Yes.
For those of us who are old enough to remember.
Damn. That's going back. I think, yeah, just found another grey hair. Thanks, Amy.
I still listen to the Spice Girls. On occasion.
They had some bangers.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, they do. No doubt about that. I don't deny that. My ass is
Speaking of things that are horny, those songs, we did not understand them correctly when we were teenagers.
But two becomes who now?
What? You want to do what now?
What the hell's a zig a zig? Oh, I think I have some ideas.
Yeah, I didn't know that back then. I do now.
That's it.
Sorry, Moody, you were about
No, that's all right. I was just going to ask, is there anything that you did enjoy of this movie or anything like that? Or...
Oh, yes. So Kazunori Yamauchi, the producer and the original creator of Gran Turismo, he has a cameo in this movie where he plays a sushi chef and he's having the time of his life. And that's the highlight of the film. He's in it for like a couple of seconds.
God damn.
But he's really smiley, he's really happy, and yeah.
That would be like Moody. That would be like if I asked you if there was anything. Was there anything you did enjoy about this Marvel film, like back in the day, and you said yes, Stanley's cameo was the best thing in the film. God damn. Ouch.
That is an ouch moment indeed. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. I was just shocked that they were disappointed in it, but at the same time, it's going off on what I've heard and everything like that. But I haven't seen the movie, so I can't comment on it. It's that they lean more away from the game more than ever. Yes, they concentrate. They used a premise that happened in real life, but I think maybe oversimplified it, maybe, or they went too gun ho.
They took key aspects of what actually happened, and for sure, it's a movie about a person who plays a video game and then gets a real job kind of thing. It is, and yeah, so for sure you're going to leave the video game behind. But Jan lived and breathed Gran Turismo and still does kind of thing, and it's one of these where you just miss the essence of that, and then the CG they choose to use in the film is so woefully bad. They would have been better off just using clips from actual Gran Turismo 7. That would have been a better visual quality, and it's one of these where they try and hoodwink viewers, and it's one of these where they filmed all of their scenes around three race circuits, but most of them around the Hungaroring in Budapest. And it's one of these where they dress up the Hungaroring to make it look like other different types of circuits. But it's a place where the Hungarian F1 Grand Prix is held. So anyone who knows anything kind of thing will recognize that track. And they're trying to say, it's Le Mans now. But it's like, no, you're just racing around it backwards. This is not real kind of thing. It's one of these where I just wanted them to treat us with a little bit of respect, and they clearly didn't.
That's fair. There's no doubt about that. That is definitely fair. Okay, I just saw this one. I didn't realize this one. So let's try this one. Stop trying to fix women's faces in video games, you fucking melts. Whatever. What?
So as I wrote underneath, the headline was from me. But the story was from James Troughton over at The Gamer. I got real mad when I saw this. Not mad, I don't know, a combination of frustrated, disappointed, not surprised, then angry. Anyway, the James Troughton at The Gamer writes, quote, "What I am about to show you is, in my opinion, the future of video game graphics," end quote. Corridor Crew says, as it shows a highlight reel of weirdly smooth humans caked in AI makeup. Just for reference, for you guys, there's a link underneath this, which will show you a picture comparison of what I'm about to talk about. This montage was shown in a new video titled "We Try Putting Photoreal Faces in Video Games." Here, the controversial YouTube channel, who recently came under fire for its use of AI art, attempted to fix video game characters with new AI technology. The results aren't realistic at all. They actually come closer to what gamers did before Horizon Forbidden West launched, covered Aloy in makeup and filtered her through the male gaze, believing her to be an example of a conspiracy from the woke mob to make video game women uglier. As you'd expect, game devs and fans took to social media to poke fun at the video and its bravado. Elliot McSherry, a lighting artist, said, quote, "Aloy, don't forget your augmented makeup device out there in the post-apocalyptic Dinoverse." Today, the game dev folks join the VFX club of collectively sighing at the Corridor Crew's misplaced confidence that they're better than an entire industry despite never working in it, end quote. Her blemishes have been removed and her rougher skin has been smoothened out. She's even had her eyebrows done. realistic in this case, meaning a trip to the spa. But it's not just Aloy that the corridor crew have fixed. They also tried their hand at Alex from Half-Life, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, just to name a few. The results are incredibly cursed. Can confirm, the results are incredibly cursed. Like, what the fuck is it with people being like, we can fix Aloy's face? Like, no, stop. I'm imposing a moratorium on people. If you don't know what a woman looks like, stop trying to fix them. This is twice now.
But also, like Nathan Drake and Cloud, they are not unattractive people. They don't need fixing at all. None of these people do. No, nobody does.
No, it's called art. The people who made the games made them a specific way on purpose.
Cloud is so pretty, he could dress in a dress, and some dude named Chadley was like, "Ooh, I'm going to look at you through my Spy Kids," and they can get all awkward about it. Exactly.
I think I've got the vapors.
Clutching my pearls.
But like, it fucking blows my mind that like twice now this has happened, where it's like, hey, we can fix Aloy's face. And the first time was that Gamer Bro guy. You know, I remember the infamous tweet where it's like, higher gamers, lol. And like both times, the solution to fixing Aloy's face is, what if we just caked it in makeup? Like, what the fuck, man? Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Stupid is as stupid does it, basically. It's like, yeah, this is so stupid. At the end of the day, if you want those type of video games, go and play.
Go and make them.
Yeah, go and make them. Yeah, basically, go and make them. Go and make them, because at the end of the day, like, you clearly are wanting a certain thing from a video game. At the end of the day,
A boner.
fine. Go and do it. Go and do it, and see how fucking difficult it is, you fucking idiot.
Like, Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball is available somewhere, right? These people can just go play that.
I'm sure the women have been uglied up because they're not wearing enough makeup in Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
Yeah, that was a silly thing for me to say.
But they've got their tits out, so it balances out, I guess.
Basically, they just want over-sexualized characters, which, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But don't go complaining about other ones, that are other game developers who have made their characters probably a lot more realistic than them. Deep down, at the end of the day, that's what they wanted to do. It's not only that, let's just forget about in general that it's that's probably what would happen in general, that, wait, she doesn't have time. There's no makeup in a Dinoverse. A robot Dino's utopia here and everything like that. But forget about that in general. It's just like, that's what they wanted to do. That was their decision. Get the fuck over it at the end of the day. Again, if you want over-sexualized characters, go and play Mortal Kombat. Go and play Street Fighter. Go and play every other, no offense in the wrong way, a lot of Japanese games, because they are very over-sexualized sometimes. And if that's what you want, go for it.
Yes.
We love you. Like, we were just bouncing from the rooftop when it came to fucking Damon Treasure from Resident Evil Village earlier. So it's like...
Bouncing.
Oh, God.
Pun intended.
Back to my point, yeah, pun intended. Go for it, Amy. For there's nothing wrong with over-sexualized characters, but we accept that they're over-sexualized, but we also accept the ones that are not. Aloy's a beautiful character, a beautiful woman in every way, for whatever, that's how they wanted to place her and everything. And she's just overall, let's just forget this. She's a fucking great character. Okay, maybe a bit of a pain in the ass in the sequel, but she's a great character still. Okay, but like, God, get over it, people. Like, seriously. Ugh. Like,
also, really can you stop being weird?
Yes, please. Yes. Thank you. It's to simplify it even better. Stop being weird. We know 2023's been very horny, but stop it.
She doesn't even look better. Like, it's just she has makeup on, and she's had her eyebrows done, which I guess there's a robot dinosaur out there that runs a spa. Like, I did see one person post a fantastic post, which was, if these guys want Aloy to look like this, they should be forced every time they start the game up to go through the 2-hour makeup session.
Yes.
Before they can play the game. And I was like, yeah, I like that.
Oh, hell fucking yes.
Do it. You've got to do it, and you've got to do it perfectly. You know, like,
hell fucking yes. Do that now. That'll be a lot more simpler.
So I just circle back to the headline that I wrote for this, which is, stop trying to fix women's faces in video games, you fucking melts.
let's go for the one final one before we go into basically what
Hell.
is practically the main story overall this year. Today, deep down. So, Hatoful Boyfriend creator alleges Epic never paid her royalties.
Yeah,
I
this
apologize if I've said the name wrong.
Hatoful Boyfriend. It's the bird dating game from years ago. This is from Justin Carter over at GameDeveloper.com. He writes, Hatoful Boyfriend's original creator, Hato Moa, has alleged Epic Games hasn't paid her royalties in the past 2 years. On X, Moa revealed she's received no payment for the visual novel since Epic purchased Mediatonic back in 2021. Her claim was spurred by last week's layoffs at Epic, which was said to be especially impactful for Mediatonic. Beyond Epic insisting that it remains invested in the developer's multiplayer game Fall Guys, the status of Mediatonic and those who remain there are currently unclear. Moa originally created the game under her Dojin Circle, or special interest group, Peach Nation Inc., as an April Fool's joke. Following the success of the initial 2011 Flash version, Hatoful Boyfriend was remade by Mediatonic in 2014. Quote, I don't think the sales have been zero for 2 years, end quote, she cheekily added. Moore went on to state she'd previously contacted Epic, who gained the rights post-acquisition, but never received a response back then. In response to Moore, Epic said, the quote, it was looking into this and the team will be reaching out to you directly, end quote. After gaining Mediatonic, Epic delisted the Hatoful Boyfriend's remake from console and mobile storefronts, making it only purchasable via Steam. Moore stressed that despite all this, she's totally fine and well wishes should go to the developers. As she wrote, quote, I just wish I had been strong and influential enough to support all of the nice people from Mediatonic. They've always been nice to me and Hatoful, end quote.
So, big ass studio holding back payments. What a
Guess
surprise.
so, yeah.
Allegedly, what better say that? Felt like I had Keith over the back of my head.
He gets in your head, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like there.
Allegedly. according to the developer of Hatoful Boyfriend, who would probably be the one person who would know this.
Yeah, because they just look at their bank account and say,
It's like,
nothing from Epic today.
no payments.
Okay. Yeah. for 12, for 2.
How much has it got?
9.6
9.6 billion? Still nothing in my bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of,
The makers of Fortnite, you say.
credit where it's due. At least Epic's response isn't just we're not commenting on speculation or anything like that. At least they've taken notice of this and said, okay, we're going to look into it and obviously, in theory, rectify any wrongdoings in terms of any payments that were missed. Maybe it's they've taken the opportunity to be the squeaky wheel while they've got their eyes on Epic with all the Mediatonic stuff going down.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hopefully everybody gets paid what they're owed. When people get acquired, it's always kind of messy in terms of okay, who gets payment in terms of going forward. Now the ownership change and do arrangements with them, or does it stop there and then? Obviously, but yeah, people should be paid for their work, and it's kind of murky that they delisted them from all the other stores. But I'm sure there's some sales through Steam, and they should get paid.
Oh yeah, I mean, Hatoful Boyfriend isn't exactly a nothing game,
Exactly.
It's a popular game. There's definitely been sales of the game in the last 2 years, but this is one of those situations where it's like, mergers, acquisitions, mess. Absolutely agree with you. Epic is one of the richest companies in video games. They have lawyers who would have gone through the contracts and should theoretically have seen the part in the contract, Mediatonic held with Moa to say, we're going to owe him money.
Yep.
Probably. You would have thought so.
I'm getting less and less I'm further and further away from that point where I'm like, there is a benefit of the doubt I could give Epic, but I'm not going to.
Yes.
No doubt about it. Pay the lady, Epic. Pay the lady. You've got the money.
And everybody else you haven't paid, because if this has happened once...
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about it. Okay. Let's start with the shitfest. The thing that kicked it all off this week. The thing that I texted Amy instantly when I found out about it. Significant job losses, like happening. I forgot the title.
This was a story.
Happening.
This was a story that was updated like 4 times from when it started. Significant
job losses at Worms' publisher. Team 17.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. You could just delete the word likely. This is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer, who writes. Worms publisher Team 17 has announced a company restructure likely to result in significant job losses, Eurogamer understands, with the majority of the developer's internal QA team affected. Around 50 roles, the vast majority of Team 17's QA department, are at risk as part of a major restructuring process as the company opts to outsource its QA work instead. The vast majority of the job losses within the QA team, indicated in a new proposed team structure document shared with staff members on Monday, are of junior QA and analyst roles. Outside of QA, it's unclear to what extent other departments are also affected by restructuring plans. These latest layoffs follow job losses at Team 17 earlier in the year within the company's internal development teams. At the time, staff were told further layoffs would not occur. Staff affected by these latest redundancies were informed of the news via an emergency town hall meeting on Monday morning. A consultation process on the changes has now begun and will conclude in November. A Team 17 spokesperson told Eurogamer, quote, in response to the reports concerning the departure of Michael Patterson from Team 17, we can confirm we have amicably parted ways with Michael. We can also confirm that we have sadly entered into a period of consultation today within Team 17 Digital, with Astragon and Storytoys remaining unaffected by the restructuring plans, end quote. In an update, Eurogamer now understands that Team 17's company restructure is expected to see layoffs across the business, on top of the deep cuts to the company's QA department reported on Monday. The developer's usability team is another set to see job losses, sources close to the company say, with further cuts expected in the studio's programming and marketing departments.
I can confirm they've already been hit.
Tremendous.
I can be just going from LinkedIn.
Yeah, no,
because I'm on LinkedIn. And everything, people who I've seen like a lot of them, like all saying like I have now left the job, blah blah blah, and everything like that. This was soul sucking out where I'm working at and everything. When we found this out and everything, I was just like fucking hell, because it's been nothing but non-stop over the last few months, basically. Last couple of weeks and everything. It's really been a right shit fest and everything. What's this pain in the ass? Like I know people who have been affected by this. That's what I think it hurts even more, because I know people who have been affected by this. Like I did a testing thing with Team 17 years ago before I got into where I'm at now. And like I spoke to some of the people who were in the usability team who have now sadly lost their jobs, who I worked with there. Just they were only work just for a couple of hours and everything like that. It was just to like try and figure out something for a game and everything. But yeah, it was just absolutely devastating and everything. And then it was just like by the end of the it was just like this entire week has just been on top more shit and more shit. And I was just like, for God's sakes, like both me and the entire QA team. And that's the us of our QA team, because the first ones are obviously got and it's all the time, pretty much all the time. QA is the first thing that get hits for the most part. I'm not saying that that's not all the time, but it is the majority of the time. The QA is the first thing that gets hit all the time, and it is shit. It's absolute shit, and I hated it. And I've spoken to some of them, like the person who helped me sort out my CV, and who I spoke to personally and everything, who helped me a lot. He's, to my knowledge, he's told me he's still got his job, but he's expecting to hear that he's going to lose it probably. So he's already updating and everything like that and shit. And it's like, I hate this. I absolutely hate this, and I'm going to say this a lot during every other story that we're going to talk about and whatnot. But it absolutely sucked. Like Team 17, when I was getting into development and whatnot, it was just like I heard nothing but great things until obviously an article came out saying, the former CEO decided, yo, people, can you please wrap my Christmas presents and everything? And I'm just like, what? And then here and there, and now this is happening and everything, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
It's the word salad they came out with, how they amicably parted ways and all the rest of it.
With the guy at the top. Yeah, it's like, we amicably parted ways with the guy at the top. Yeah. But we have sadly entered into a period of consultation. You're not sad about it. Otherwise you wouldn't have fucking done it.
Exactly. And it's one of these things where I think as an industry, we need to stop thinking as QA is expendable.
I mean,
just as a whole,
the AAA release slate for most of fucking 2023 should prove that QA is probably one of the least expendable departments in video games.
Yeah, I mean, to everything that you said in terms of this is piling on news we've seen about throughout the industry, and it's something that Amy and I spoke about. And
last week,
last week, the industry isn't sustainable in its current model in terms of the way that we're burning through people, and it's not even that people are just being shifted around video game studios. It's the people. It's the fact that these people are being emotionally and mentally exhausted from losing their jobs and trying to figure out where the next paycheck's going to come from, how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to feed their families, and have you. And it's one of those where, why would people want to come and work for the video game industry outside of a love of making video games if it is the way that it is?
I think a big part of that sort of conundrum as well is just how fractured the video game industry is in terms of how, like, where all of the studios are, right? This isn't like Hollywood. Yeah. This isn't like where most of the films get filmed in LA or Vancouver. Like, so, if you live in LA or you live in Vancouver, you'll probably be able to find some work on a film if that's what you want to do. Like, the video game studios are everywhere. Like, Moody obviously knows this because he had to move 250 miles away from where he was living to go to get his job at Merge. And before that, when you were at PlayStation, you were traveling like to the other side of the country every week. And like, as someone who went for an interview at a game studio in London and facing the prospect of moving to London, which is not something anyone wants to do. But it's still, it's like, if you can't restrict yourself, even before all of these jobs just started disappearing all around, like, you can't restrict yourself to the area that you live in unless you happen to live in one of like a few different hubs, as I would like call them. So the idea that like a bunch of people have just lost their job at Team 17 and I hope they land on their feet and everything is fine with them. It's like that when they're looking for jobs, they're also having to take into account the prospect of relocation on top of everything else as well. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what causes people to leave the industry.
Basically, yeah, that is pretty much what it is. Like, like a lot of people like prefer to do the remote work and everything now, like work or do at least a minimum of hybrid. Like, mine's a hybrid thing, but I still have to move in general. But I was willing to do it because it was my first full-time job in the industry and everything. Like, I was happy to do it and everything, and I've been incredibly lucky with where I've ended up, where I'm living and everything and whatnot. It's just I'm incredibly lucky for that. But yeah, it's like not everyone's able to do that. Not everyone's been able to be able to do that, and like, that's the thing about it. Like, right now, the worst thing is about it, it's like there's already a shortage of just jobs out there, and it's like overflowing with talent who have sadly lost their jobs, and people ain't gonna land on their feet, sadly. And that's the worst thing about it even more. It's like I know in our company we've put things out like because we have positions available, but it's like we can only take.
Yeah, you don't have 50, right?
Find that amount.
Yeah. The worst thing about it is like the industry is like of what happened in 2020 and in COVID and everything like that. They've overgrown. They literally thought this is going to be sustainable. We're going to be earning this amount of money every single year, if not more, from year on year out. So let's expand and everything. And boom, it has not happened because everyone's now fucking off to the pub or going to the cinema now. Everyone can actually go out and socialize, people, you know?
Yeah.
And
what was it? What was it? Jim Ryan said that we talked about the games industry as recession proof. And I mean, we both mocked him heartily for what he said, but like, unfortunately, like it was funny at the time when he said it, but unfortunately, like, I think we're starting to see the fact that no, it's not. Like, and yeah, they have overgrown. From the boom of 2020, for sure.
I think so. The way that the head of the studio was also let go, it might be a side issue. I'm not too familiar with the machinations here, but the heads of these studios who have to, or who go through the business of laying off all these people, especially in these entry and quote unquote lower level positions. They need to be held accountable. And it's kind of, if you're to roll it back to a different story, if you're a Team Sweden, you have and you made the decisions, which mean you have to fire or you have to let go 16% of your business, and it's 800 odd people, or whatever the numbers happen to be, kind of thing. That is a fundamental error on your part. It's not the fault of those whose jobs are affected as to why they've been let go. It's your decisions as to, okay, this is the strategy we're going to do. We're going to expand. We're going to acquire this studio. We're going to make X, Y, and Z live service games, and not all of them going to pan out. And we're going to go through that. These people need to be held accountable. We can't just leave it on the burden of the people who are affected. Again, it's just not sustainable.
Well, the only thing that the executives are accountable for, like, just to pick a completely random name out of the hat, Tim Sweeney, for example, the only time he will ever be held accountable for anything is if his shareholders and investors don't get returns on their investment.
Yeah.
So,
if the money stops, then he's done. Yeah. But
the 900 people that will let go from Epic last week, like, that's done so that the money can keep going to the shareholders. Cost cutting. I've read a bit more about that from what we knew last week, and it was all based around, like, they were losing money for a quarter. Looks like because they made some big bets on the metaverse, which, I mean, I've never credited Tim Sweeney with much intelligence, and that just kind of confirms that. But like, it's as long as the shareholders get their return on investment, it doesn't matter what happens underneath. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening to the company, as long as the money's still coming in for them. So yes, I agree personally that, like, accountability should be held when, you're talking about, like, huge job cuts at Team 17 or Epic or anywhere else. Yeah. But there's no mechanics in place for that accountability to come from, because who's gonna hold Tim Sweeney to account, or the executives at Team 17? There's no will to do that.
Yeah, the shareholders need to get some morals in order to say, okay, we think that practice is bad, therefore we're going to take our money.
Unfortunately, if they had morals, they wouldn't be shareholders.
That's true.
And this is a problem we're going to see. We've seen last week, the week before, I'm pretty sure the week before that, throughout 2023, we're going to see it more for the rest of the year. We're going to see it more next year, because as Moody correctly pointed out, a lot of this is now, like, part of this at least, is down to the game industry booming in 2020 and deciding that was sustainable, which it wasn't. We all knew it wasn't.
Yeah, it never was going to be, yeah.
Except the video game companies, I guess. They thought it was going to be completely sustainable from now until the end of time.
They just saw the dollar signs in their eyes.
It's like, we're making how much extra money? Cool, we can make this. So like, capitalism demands that number continues to go up no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to suck for a while.
Yeah, 2023 is the best year for video games and also the worst year for video games.
Until 2024 comes along and says, hold my beer. Yeah. It's not a beer, but hold my energy drink. It's more appropriate for a gaming anyway.
That's true.
I'd rather be drunk than drink that. Report: Naughty Dog lays off a dozen of contracted developers.
Yeah, thank you. You crossed it out, and then I was like, there it is.
There it is.
This is from Justin Carter over at GameDeveloper.com, who writes, layoffs have reportedly hit the staff over at Naughty Dog. A new report from Kotaku alleges The Last of Us developer has cut at least 25 contractor jobs. A pair of sources told the outlet the affected contractors are expected to work through the month of October. While the art and production departments were affected, the majority of reductions reportedly hit the QA team. In a layoff-heavy year, this is the biggest first-party PlayStation developer to get caught up in the proceedings. It's further alleged no severance is being offered, and contractors, both those impacted and the ones remaining, have been told to keep quiet on the matter.
Yeah, so there's several things shady about this. The most egregious one is probably the asking them to keep quiet on the matter, because I think that's just something that you can't do. If you're being invited to an all hands meeting and say, okay, you guys are gone, the first thing you're going to do is go on social media and let all loose what they're going to do. Can't fire you more.
I'd like to speak to Jason Schreier, please. Yes, I'll hold.
Yes, exactly.
You're fired. But shush.
Yeah, I think with this story in particular, I think a lot of it made out of the severance. Now, it's my understanding, and I'm wrong about it, but contractors aren't often afforded severance when it comes like that. It's just the terms of their contract. So I think this line saying it's further alleged that no severance is being offered, I'm not sure it was on them to do that in the first place.
No, it's not. And this is the way Naughty Dog operates from what we understand. Because this to me is, again, fucking terrible. And fuck the people who made these decisions. This ties back into something we read about Naughty Dog an indeterminate amount of time ago. One of the things that Naughty Dog did when they were making The Last of Us Part 2 was to use excessive amounts of contractors, but contractors could only work a certain length before, they couldn't continuously extend their contracts. One of the things that slowed the development of The Last of Us Part 2 down was that contractors would leave and then new contractors would come in. And it's exactly for this reason. It's because they don't have to pay severance to the people who are contracting at the studio if they want to let them go, because they're contractors. They just don't renew their contract. I've said the word contract way too many times.
Yeah, it's one of these. I think the other thing interesting about this was the notion, at least, I don't think it's been confirmed to Dog or Indie PlayStation. This was in relation to Factions, or the Last of Us multiplayer game that's in development, and then Bungie came along and said, this ain't it, Chief, and then that project has been kind of put on ice, and the affected people were reportedly working on that now. Whether they originally had plans...
Sorry, I just need to jump in really quickly. It's we're not making Factions anymore, so we'll get rid of these people, because what could people who make video games possibly do at a video game making company? I don't know. Right.
It's the age-old conundrum, isn't it? But it's one of these where, okay, so I accept that they're contractors, but potentially they could have had work secured up until, say, launch. And if they, for example, said, okay, we're gonna plan to launch Factions in spring of 2024, at least they would know at that point, okay, my job is quote unquote safe up until then, but now the project's been put on ice out of no fault of their own. They're not the ones making the kind of the creative decisions in terms of, okay, we're going to do it, we're going to take the game in this direction, and we're going to employ these mechanics and all the rest of it. They're just doing kind of. It's not to say that they aren't creative people in their own right.
Oh no,
but
what I'm a picture. I'm sorry, Moody. Me and Vitz have kind of been ping-ponging backwards and forwards here. But a picture I'm starting to draw of the way development works at these larger studios is there are a lot of incredibly artistic, creative, talented, amazing people that make things for a loose cabal of complete nut jobs who somehow fluked their way into leadership positions and have no fucking clue what they want or what the people underneath them can do, and somehow the incredible people underneath them sometimes manage to translate the fucking doom scrolling on the wall of complete nonsense that is a game document, a game development document, into something that's actually good. That's what I'm starting to think AAA game development actually is.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably a bit hyperbolic, but you get my point. Sorry.
No.
I just felt like I had to interject that there. I'm starting to get a little frustrated.
Yeah, and it's one of these where we probably won't hear the truth of what happened here in terms of whether it was due with Factions or anything else. But again, Naughty Dog is the jewel in the PlayStation crown, as it were, for in terms of game studios. It's not like they're short of money that they couldn't just keep these people on and have them working on other projects. It's not like Naughty Dog even said, okay, we're putting Factions on ice, but we have other single player content that we're working. They're going to need to QA test us at some point, kind of thing. It's kind of, you have the means to keep these people going for, and for sure, your point that you raised about people extending their contracts indefinitely and that not being the case, that's completely valid. But you've also got to look after your people as well, because they've you're supposed to be a team, and it's your job as people in leadership positions to look after your team as well as return on investment and bring the bucks in and all that jazz.
The video game industry seems like fertile ground for mediocre white men to fail upwards.
Yes. With zero accountability.
Yeah. Hailed as geniuses because the people underneath them managed to make The Last of Us.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, Moody. I'm not sure if you had anything to add to Amy and I's rambling on that one.
No. It's absolutely fine. What you said was all spot on and everything. It's no problem whatsoever, and I completely agree with it. The only thing I would say is that for me is that like I spoke to like a friend of mine at work and everything like that, and we were like, and he says for him for QA testers, the best way to do it is going to be in contracting jobs, but it's like creating a contracting company. So like there's like contracting QA companies out there. There's two in the three I think in the UK, Emerge QA, Kudos QA, and there's one in Scotland I cannot remember the name of, something QA. And like they all do, like they contract themselves out to the big companies and everything like that, and or to all the companies basically who would like them to do stuff and whatnot. So it's like
it's instead of having the internal department, they just farm it out to another company.
Yeah, basically, and I think it already, like, I hate this in general. Like, there's like I've already stated on multiple bloody occasions, but I think like this goes through not only like of just a crap of management and everything, but of crap of ideas of what like you stated, Vitz, like sounds like Factions has been put on ice and everything like that because the Destiny creators came in and said, "Yo, this sucks. This is not it. This is not how you do it."
I can't believe a studio that is known for making single player games couldn't translate that success into a live service.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I agree with that. But it's like it's a knock-on effect, and it's like this is throughout like all the stories basically that we're going to talk about. It's like it's the whole thing of like how much the money and everything like that. It's like how much money is getting thrown into games. Like what is like Last of Us Part 2 was like reported like $200 million. That's extraordinary. That's absolutely extraordinary to me. Along with like Horizons 2 was like 220 million. It's like that's bonkers, and we don't know if that's mixed in, if that's just development or if that's development and marketing. I fucking hope it's both, because if it's not, holy shit. Like, seriously, that's even more then.
I don't think it is.
If that was
no, I don't think it. If it's anything like the movie industry, so you typically like double the budget.
Yeah,
and that's just for marketing.
Yeah. So it's like if it isn't, then that's just crazy. So like it goes back to the stuff of like just them throwing too much money into these things, and it's and then it's the same thing of like the same thing what the movie industry needs to do. You need to freaking stop throwing so much fucking money at these things, because you in the long term are going to hurt yourselves, because you won't be able to sustain yourselves. Or you're going to have to keep on sacking staff just so you can keep on doing the thing that capitalists want you to do. Say, we have made this much money, but we have zero staff now apart from us.
Yeah. If the video game studios aren't going to protect the people, then they need to protect themselves. And one of the answers is to
unionize. Yeah, I'll also
unionize. The whole industry needs to unionize.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. No doubt.
Look what just happened in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I've made some notes and changed some stuff. Basically, yeah, we're pushing up against time.
Go for it.
I've narrowed Moody's choices down to basically one story in 2 parts.
Just do the BioWare one for both of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got 2 stories here about BioWare. You know, like we podcasted the year Mass Effect Andromeda came out. Like the Words About Games podcast existed, and I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about BioWare as much in that year as I have this year. So the first story is Ex-BioWare employees sue studio over shortchanged severance. This is from Justin Carter over at GameDeveloper.com. who writes, 7 of the 50 employees laid off by BioWare are suing their former employer. The ex-staffers claim the Edmonton studio has refused to pay adequate severance to those affected by the late August reductions. According to the press release, Alberta court law requires companies to give a month of severance pay per year of service when terminating an employee without cause. The employees have an average of 14 years at BioWare, whose severance was dubbed significantly less than the required amount. With the studio allegedly refusing to increase its amounts, the employees are taking the Mass Effect and Dragon Age developer to court for the, quote, unreasonably poor treatment, end quote. R. Alex Kennedy, providing counsel for the employees, wrote that BioWare, quote, attempted to reduce its obligation to these employees well below what courts typically award. Their termination without cause en masse like this calls for a response, end quote. Citing the mass industry layoffs and NDAs preventing them from showing their work on Dragon Age Dreadwolf, one plaintiff said the ex-employees were, quote, struggling to understand why BioWare was shortchanging us in this challenging time, end quote. All terrible. Fuck BioWare. Mm-hmm. That does bring up an interesting point that I don't think we've ever considered when we've talked about the layoffs that are being enacted across the games industry, which is these people who have been laid off from BioWare, Dragon Age Dreadwolf, have nothing to show for the work that they've been doing for the last few years, which has got to make it more challenging to find a job.
Of course. Yeah, how are you going to walk into an interview and say, I worked on Dragon Age Dreadwolf. It was brilliant, I tell you.
Well, I'm telling you, man, I've done the best art of my entire career. And then we'll be like, can we see it? And be like, no, you're just going to have to trust me on this one.
I've been told the game might come out. We're not sure.
Yeah.
It's on its 6th creative director. And the last time I saw it, he was ripping it apart.
Yeah, they were starting over. They fired all the writers. It was just...
this absolutely sucks and everything like that. At the end of the day, the only that like at least like when it came to like the Epic one that happened, like which I'm not condoning still at all. Like they've, to my knowledge, to what I've read, like they've paid them out like 6 months.
6 months
of
severance.
That's fucking something. This like to hear this is just deplorable. And again, it just goes back to, when it comes to BioWare. BioWare is just that studio. If we hear anytime between now and forever that EA closed BioWare, I won't be fucking surprised at all, because EA is going to be like EA is responsible for most of this as well, but also the management, because they haven't fixed the management structure there whatsoever at BioWare, and they've just allowed them to run wild like crazy pawn dogs, basically.
Well, we've got evidence of BioWare's mismanagement going all the way back to Dragon Age 2. At this point, from various sources, which was in 2009. I think the game was released in 2009. Yeah, well, they only developed it within less than 2 years. So 2 years before the release date, and I mean, probably 2011, so 2009. And we've probably got like, I mean, it was probably going on before then. Like the thing is, like it's been shown from books, articles, interviews, that BioWare just hasn't been well managed for a decade, more than a decade, and they don't seem to have ever fixed anything that's going on there. And like it's caught up to them now to the point where they don't have an amazing reputation, thanks to the games that they've been releasing. So they don't, like, the company management doesn't have the excuse to fall back on, but we make great games. Because I mean that's been in question for a little while now, but it seems to be a dumpster fire. Like it seems to just be a raging fire, and it's like EA is like from the meme with the computer with the fire, and they just not doing anything about it.
It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Everybody loved the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely crap, and like seeing this, like, just yeah.
Well,
BioWare is one of my favorite studios. Like, I love their games and everything, and just to see this, it's just like,
Speaking of which, Keyword Studios' unionized Dragon Age QA team has been laid off. This is from Sophie McAvoy over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, Dublin-based Keyword Studio has laid off its Dragon Age Dreadwolf QA team contracted to assist BioWare Edmonton in Canada. As reported by Polygon, the recently unionized team will let go in late September after BioWare decided not to continue its contract in August. Last year, the QA workers joined the United Food and Commercial Workers Canada Union, making the group the first game industry union in Canada. The UCFW filed an employment standards complaint against Keyword Studios this week, reporting that it offered minimal severance. This follows news that former BioWare employees are suing for better severance, blah, blah, we just talked about it. UFCW spokesperson said, quote, workers at Keyword Studios have spent a year trying to bargain a fair first collective agreement before the shocking news that BioWare had cancelled the contract with Keyword Studios Edmonton, subsequently laying off a unionized staff, end quote.
My worry here is, like, where I think that's going on here is that BioWare, like, they're in complete shit right now, as we've already spoken about and everything like that. With them sacking off all this staff, like, all the other ones have, like, all been reported, like, for the most part, is save money for the most part, or reconstruction or whatever. This one doesn't hear any of that. It just sounds like they just sacked them and everything.
This is allegedly. I'm sorry, just in case you didn't hear that. Allegedly, union busting. This is just another union busting tactic. Like, Keyword Studios, QA testers formed a union, and now they've all been mysteriously sacked.
Yeah, no doubt. Sorry. I would have got to that.
I know, sorry. Just
so you know.
I thought of the allegedly joke. I really want to get it out there.
But also, I'm just curious about, have they quietly just decided, fuck Dragon Age Dreadwolf?
No, I don't think they've decided fuck Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
And cancel it.
No, they won't cancel it. They can't cancel it. They'll fold like a cheap futon.
Well, it already depends if they've spoken to like a year and everything like that, which they would have had to.
Well, if they cancel Dragon Age Dreadwolf, they're effectively closing their own studio, because they're not like, if Dragon Age Dreadwolf, God knows what the fuck that game even looks like or what stage of development it's in. But the only other game they're working on is Mass Effect, which is in early stages of development, reportedly. Yeah. That's another 5 to 7 years, providing it is also not a raging dumpster fire. That's going to have been more than 10 years without releasing a game.
This isn't sustainable. They have to release a game sooner or later.
Yeah. They
can't just go, they love the Mass Effect trilogy remaster. Let's throw out a trilogy remake of a remaster of the first 3 Dragon Age games. That will only sustain people for so long, and everything. Especially if it's good or not. Either way, if that's what they want, that's what they wanted to do and everything. They eventually have to release a new game. They have to. They've been pushing this game back and back, rebringing in new people, new creative directors, blah blah blah, all the time. I will not be again surprised if this one company gets closed, or 2, if they come out and say, yeah, we're not doing Dragon Age Direwolf anymore. We've just put it on the iceberg, and everyone seems like they want Mass Effect, so we're just going straight into Mass Effect.
They're done. Like sorry, Vitz, my firm belief is if they do cancel Dragon Age Dreadwolf, they're finished as a studio.
Yeah, they'll circle back to Anthem before they'll cancel Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
And then they're finished as a studio.
Anthem! You thought you didn't know you thought you didn't want it back, but it's here.
You really didn't want it back.
Anthem 2.0. Wait, what? Yeah. This sucks and everything like that. Again, just typical corporation trying to squash unions.
And this is why the industry needs to unionize, because they can only get away with this because there's plenty of non-union talent that they can use. If the entire industry is unionized, you can't pull this shit.
There you go.
True.
I also just want to say, like, as a thing for the stories that we have read currently, all of the stories that were on the websites all came with updates to assure us that the games that were being made at these studios are still maintaining, they're still going on schedule. Everything is still A-okay. And every single time, bearing in mind, this is like a daily occurrence. I've been reading the story of this, the story of this, the story of this, and then being at the end, it's like, but don't worry, the games that we're making are still going just fine. It's like, I don't give a flying fuck about the games that you're making right now.
But that's the thing about it, with how shitfire it all is at BioWare. I'm just like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Anymore when it comes to your games. Like, that's why I'm saying, it's like, if it ever came out that, if I heard one little rumor, and I don't care if it came from that Grub, I would believe it. If he came out and says, yeah, they've cancelled Dragon Age Dread Mob, saying, I fucking knew it, Amy. Yeah, but it was Jeff Grubb, David, he's always wrong, or something like that. I don't give a fuck. He's found out.
No, it's just like, you companies are talking about, like, purposefully going out of their way to ruin people's livelihoods. I don't give a flying fuck how Dragon Age or whatever fucking Naughty Dog's working on. I don't really care how that's going right now.
Nobody's buying the fact that these final paragraphs saying, don't worry, the game's still in development.
And also,
anybody but shareholders.
No, it's not.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. It can't be. You just fired a bunch of people.
Yeah. What, you're going to throw it out as a broken mess because you just sacked the entire team that could help you fix it?
It's like the fucking initial BioWare announcement of the fucking layoffs, where they were like, we want to make a studio that's more agile and faster, and it's like, well, then you need more people.
Yes.
You're not a fucking race car. The lighter you are, the faster you go. You're the opposite.
Yeah, this ain't F1.
Fucking, they think we're fucking. I've said this on numerous occasions throughout the years of this podcast. It's like, this is how stupid they think people are. Like, their statements are a measure of your intelligence, like, of what they think your intelligence is. Like, what kind of bullshit will these people believe next?
Pigs will fly.
Pigs will fly. So after that, lovely. See, this is why I wanted to do Vitz, this horniest year of gaming thing at the beginning. I was like, got to do it. It's going to counterbalance everything else. What's happening next week? Not a lot. But I'm going to try streaming on Sundays. Fridays is getting more and more difficult. So I'm going to move things to Sundays. But what that does mean is I know exactly what I'm streaming this Sunday, because it's not a nebulous thing that's happening a week from now. I'm finishing The Expanse. I'm going to try and aim for like 7 to 7:30 p.m. Twitch.tv.
Did you not finish it last weekend? Did you?
I didn't play it last weekend. I didn't stream last weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames, 7 p.m. ish. It's all new, so I'll figure out like a firm start time. But I've got 3 episodes of The Expanse left to play. Sponsored by Daffy Moody, who bought me the game and forced me to stream it.
Didn't force you to stream it, but okay.
You did.
I forced you to play it. Stream it. Different thing.
You knew that you forced me to stream it because you knew that I would actually play it. You gave me a code for Bramble, and I didn't play that for like 3 months.
So if I bought you it, you would have. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. If you bought me it, I probably still wouldn't have played it for 3 months. But if you told me you wouldn't buy it if I streamed it, I probably would have streamed and played it, like I did with The Expanse.
Amy's got to be in the right mood for things.
There has to be no. Either have to be in the right mood for things, or like you have to engineer a situation where I can't get out of it. It's like
it's in some obligation.
Yeah, if it's like oh, like I can't just say I've played it, because then you could just check the VOD.
I wouldn't check the VOD. Too lazy.
All you have to do is check what it says.
That's what the title is.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally The Expanse, and not only
absolutely, definitely Expanse. And then you look at the thumbnail and it's like fucking Vampire Survivors, and you're like, that doesn't look like The Expanse.
It's a mini game inside the game. It's
weird. You mustn't have found it. Sorry, yeah, it's very strange. Look.
Don't know what you're talking about, Moody. Shut up, Moody.
We already talked about Forza Motorsport, so yeah. Shall we move to the final section of the podcast?
Let's do the damn thing.
OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is a game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic averages of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point, and if you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, me and Vitz did our guesses on the podcast, and then Moody texted me about an hour later and went, "Shit, I didn't do my guesses." To which I said, "Just put them in anyway, who cares?" So yeah, he put them in at some point in the Google document, and I trust he didn't wait until the games were out because he knows I wasn't going to check it until today. He also knows I don't care that much about OpenCritic Head-To-Head. It's a fun way to talk about video games.
I would have put the exact score for all three.
Really, you got all three spot on. How bizarre! I wouldn't have even questioned it either. I would have just been like, "Damn." Damn, Moody had a good week. Last week we did try to guess the OpenCritic average of 3 games. The first one was Detective Pikachu Returns. I guessed it would get an 80. Moody guessed it would get a 75. Vitz guessed it would get an 85. And at the time of recording, hey, Nintendo game, man. Detective Pikachu Returns returned a 67.
What happened to that Pokemon bump that they all get?
Everyone's still mad about Scarlet and Violet.
That's true.
And by everyone, I mean Moody. So I just assume everybody else is as well.
That DLC runs smooth as butter, doesn't it?
Smooth as butter that's been kept in the freezer.
Yes. Like, for God's sake, we're gonna get a new game next. We're gonna get another game next year. For God's sake, so I'm just like,
stop it! You're killing my childhood.
Basically, yeah.
We also try to guess the OpenCritic average of Assassin's Creed Mirage. I guessed it would get an 88. Moody guessed it would get a 78, and Vitz guessed it would get a 75. And at the time of recording, Assassin's Creed Mirage has a 77.
Dang it.
It's close.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Like, I was kind of looking forward to it, and like I'm hearing like not the greatest things.
I mean, 77 is still a good game, you know.
I go off the one I like Skill Up D's wasn't a fan of it, so I'm just like, oh.
Well, you know, you need to diversify your critic pool.
I like the ones who I agree with.
Ones, yeah, plural. I mean, if it's just one, I'd suggest.
I listen to you, Amy, and I listen to Vitz. Like, Vitz's opinions made me not want to watch Gran Turismo at all.
Sure,
there you go.
Sure, but all Vitz does is play Starfield and drive around in cars. And all I do is play weird shit or things from 20 years ago.
That's true. You know, tomorrow, by the time when this is released, it's going to go down to 76.
Probably, yeah. But then Vitz gets to know how that feels like we know how that feels.
There you go.
We also try to guess the OpenCritic average of Forza Motorsport. I guessed it would get a 92. Moody guessed it would get an 88. And Vitz guessed it would get a 90 at the time of recording. Forza Motorsport has an OpenCritic average of 84. Definitely had to double check to make sure I got the right Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw your 2 high scores, I was like, I'm not going in the middle. I'm not going higher than Amy. So I was like,
I had logic. I went with.
We went through it, yeah.
I went with whatever the last Forza Horizon got.
yeah. But I think what Vitz said was spot on. That it's a motorsports game. The Horizon's the one that gets the highest loves and all. They always get the love. Motorsports, I think, is always a bit more mixed for a lot of people,
as opposed to this. That one's fun. This one's for nerds.
84's like great to hear, everything like that. Like great work by the developers and whatnot. I mean, like, congratulations to the teams.
Hell yeah! So the scores are Amy 31, Moody 28, Vitz 1, all the other guests who should have been backing Vitz up 0. And 2 draws. I was like, I want to make sure that people know that Vitz has only done this a few times. Other people have been here, and they've really let the sign down. This week we're going to do 2 games. The first one, Total War Pharaoh. There's a new Total War game coming out.
Awesome.
And apparently it's Pharaoh related. I played a Total War game when I was in uni. Shogun, and apparently they're still making them.
It turns out, yeah. That's still a thing.
Vitz, what do you think Total War Pharaoh is going to receive by the time next week?
I'm gonna say, let's go ballpark. Let's say 80. 80.
80. My only recent experience with Total War was I put it in my fantasy critic team instead of Crusader Kings 3, and the difference was like fucking 20 points or something. I got burned real bad. I did also interview one of the creative directors years and years ago when they did that free-to-play game. I didn't realize it was like a free-to-play game, so I was thoroughly unprepared with questions. I had to make them all up on the spot. I'm going to guess 74.
The bold call.
I like making bold calls.
81.
81. Lastly, we're going to guess the OpenCritic average of Lords of the Fallen.
The Lords of the Fallen.
Oh. Who cares?
Because Lords of the Fallen is a completely different game to the Lords of the
Well,
Fallen.
no, Lord of the Fallen was the first one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay, I might be
I
wrong.
think.
My
And
apologies.
Lords of the Fallen is the new one. And I was unfortunate enough to play the first one. And everybody keeps telling me this one looks good, but all I can think about is that first one. I did not enjoy it.
2014, the first one.
Oh yeah. It was like riding the coattails of like Dark Souls' popularity at the time. And what the development studio decided to do was they thought, what if we made Dark Souls, but much slower?
Everyone liked this one, you said?
And my main no, everyone's trying to convince me that the new one looks good.
Oh.
The old one was not popular. Like the thing that everybody loves about Dark Souls is its brutal difficulty, right? Yeah, sure, all right. Not really, but okay. So Lords of the Fallen, Vitz, or the Lords of the Fallen.
79.
79.
Lords of the Fallen, the complete edition, so there's two versions of on OpenCritic. So there's the normal version, which was the first version that came that has a 69 on their score. On the Lords of the Fallen, the complete edition, it's only got 2 reviews on there, and one of them is the Jimquisition. And they gave it a 7 out of 10, the complete edition. So I think that just makes me laugh.
Question mark. Awesome.
Makes me laugh.
I'll find
Amy,
out
where are you
next
going for
week.
this game?
I don't know, it has been so long that it's basically like you might as well be a brand new game. And I read a thing about it in Edge magazine. It sounded really cool, but my perception of this game is colored by me playing the original and having that inflicted upon me. I'm gonna go 76.
Nice.
The cursed Fallout number.
75.
75, and we'll find out how that went next week. That's going to do it for this episode of the Words About Games podcast. And I believe I said it was number 372.
Sorry for butting in. I apologize.
That's fine. We're going way over.
Do we want to? No, it's the Marvel Spider-Man. I know that's the week after, but I just have a feeling will they get reviews out early for that again?
The embargo date is the 16th, I believe.
So that's the Monday of that week. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Ignore me.
That's going to do it for episode 372 of the Words About Games podcast. Thanks very much for watching. Bye. Say bye, everybody.
Long and prosper.
Wait, no, hold on. Does someone have any words of inspiration or wisdom? Preferably 10 words or less.
Hey, you are awesome. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
I couldn't count that fast. See you later.